Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome to EMPP. This is EMPP number 14. And with me today, I have the Corey Wolfe. Say hello, Corey.
How you doing?
Hey man, thanks for coming over today. I appreciate it.
Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, no problem. So Corey, I've actually known Corey for quite a few years. We were talking earlier.
7-8 years now.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
It's been a while, right? And it was through music where I met him through fellow musicians. And when I met him, he was just a baby.
Yeah,
now,
19, young gun.
Yeah.
Slinging left and right.
Now he's a late 20s Top Gun.
Yeah.
Of sorts, right?
Yeah, I'd like to say so.
Yeah. He's actually does some piloting. I don't know what's the right way to say that.
It's commercial pilot. It's we'll get into that a little bit later, but it's commercial pilot. So
okay.
That's
commercial pilot.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Well, for this episode, and I'm so ready for this drink because I just got done driving back from Fargo, North Dakota. Today, which was only after breaks and, food and stuff. I think it was only like 9 to 10 hours. So I'm ready to have an actual drink now that I'm off the road. And on this one, going with the trusted Balvenie Doublewood 12-year, which I love this one. I think I've shared this one with many guests before.
It's classic.
It is, but it's a really good one to start somebody off with if they're not used to drinking scotch. And I know you said you've drank some scotch.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, catch me up on when you've drank scotch in the past while I open this up.
Sure. I think it was I want to say it was Christmases that I had that. My grandpa is just he can put it down just like water, and I want to build that tolerance someday. So yeah, that's my main goal in life. So I'd say many Christmases. It was like I want to say 2 Christmases ago, but
see, in this household, I treat every day like Christmas. Then
it's coming up as
not every day.
Right.
Anyway,
now there's snow and Christmas music is playing and Thanksgiving hasn't hit. I swear it comes earlier and earlier every year. I don't understand.
I really don't either. So when I drove up to Fargo earlier this week, there was no snow on the ground here. Obviously, I think it may have snowed here once, maybe just for a brief moment. I feel like it was a half a month ago we had snow out here.
Yeah.
It didn't stick or anything,
right?
But it was there.
Right.
And then I get up to Fargo, and as soon as I cross over into that North Dakota area, there was snow on the grounds in the parking lots where they'd already plowed and pushed it up in the piles. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Not this early.
Temperatures in the single digits.
Right.
I feel like there today, you know how it feels like temperature. There's an actual temperature and then what it feels like.
Right.
I think it was supposed to be close to 0 degrees with the wind and everything up there today. So, Kevin, I know we just did the podcast. I want you to know I have no desire to live up there, and I'm glad you do. And he wears shorts up there.
Wow.
Because he's from Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's all on that podcast I recorded earlier this week, number 13. But 14 with you, though. We got some scotch.
Scotch.
Drank it with your grandpa for Christmases.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is like our little Christmas party
This is.
Here's the great thing about scotch. Not to talk too much about scotch. Scotch.
So good.
Is that it is so good. And you really get to that point. I don't know, did you call it a tolerance or a, what did you say?
I'd say tolerance.
Yeah, where you could drink it like water.
Yeah.
I mean, I basically am getting to that point. Once you get used to it, it's like anything else, right?
Right.
It's just like, like crack cocaine. You get used to it and no, that's a bad, terrible joke. And I don't do any of that, or I don't condone any of that either.
It's unacceptable here.
Stay in school, kids. Right? Toast.
Cheers.
So the scotch, though, the cool thing about it, and I've talked about this before with previous guests, is that I used to drink a lot of beer, and I still do when I have cheat days for my diet. But I used to drink a lot of those microbrews you buy at Hy-Vee, like the taller, not the small single, the 12 ounce or whatever. What would that be? It'd be more like a 16 to, no, probably more than, it'd be like more than a 20 ounce too. I feel like,
yeah, I can't really describe them, but I know what you're talking about. It's in my brain.
So I used to get all variants of those from local breweries and all over the place,
Sure.
and I loved them. I was huge in double IPAs before I quit. The problem is that it got to the end where I'm drinking one for the longest time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a couple. I'm going to get a different variant, I'm not just going to do one of this only. I want to try a couple in one night. It was getting expensive, and it was like building up on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The nice thing about scotch is, and I've talked about this before on another podcast, but the great thing about scotch, recap, throwback to previous podcasts, is that it's actually got some health benefits too. There's barely any carbs and no sugars.
Sure.
It's a barley product. It's not a corn product like bourbon.
Right.
So it's got some health benefits, believe it or not, and very few calories too.
I didn't know that. I mean, I guess I did know it. My roommate, he's really into lifting and whatnot, and especially when we go out and have drinks. I mean, he takes shots of just like vodka or even whiskey or scotch or
vodka's another one.
Yeah.
It really is. I usually joked about that in the past. Is that's for rich housewives that are on a diet. That's what they drink, vodka.
Hey.
Put a little Mio in it. I do that too.
Right.
I'm not ashamed.
It works.
Little cranberry Mio. Did
works.
that recently with my girlfriend. She does that too.
Right.
But this is like the grandpa, the male equivalent, right? Not to sound sexist, ladies, because I know ladies out there that drink scotch too.
They can put it down.
Pretty badass. Too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Marry me now.
Be afraid for that reason. You know what's happening. So yeah, enough about the scotch though. So commercial pilot, and that's at what point in your life did you decide that being a pilot of any sort was what you wanted to do, or what your dream job was? When other kids wanted to be police officers and firefighters, be like, hey man, I'd love to fly. And what got you to that point?
Yeah, I just I don't know. It just kind of, I knew from day one, just exactly what I wanted to do. I just remember just one moment in particular, but we're out in Farm and Fleet, out here by the Davenport Airport, and I see loud jets, and that just ever since then, I've just looked up in the sky and asking where are they going? Are they going overseas? Are they going to California, Florida? And just kind of grew from there. And then you kind of have the moments of I want to be a firefighter, because my grandpa, he was a volunteer firefighter, chief of Port Byron actually, but got to see the fire trucks, and my dad being a police officer too. It's like, hey, be a police officer. But I was just like, I think I'm going to be a little odd one and just be a pilot and just kind of chase that dream. And it was ever since then, it was like awesome. So
that's so cool. Now in Davenport, I remember I'm an Illinois boy originally,
right?
From Illinois City.
Okay.
Is where I'm originally from. And I remember being over at the Moline MLI. Mm-hmm. And that, that spot at the end of the runway where on the other side of the road and the fence, there was that little, I don't know if you've seen that, where you can sit there and just kind of let the planes take off
right
over
down
you.
the runway.
Yeah. And I remember sitting out there and checking, same kind of thing, right? Not when I was younger though.
Right.
My parents never went out there. Like, hey, let's go, check this out.
Go check out the airplanes.
It wasn't like that, I don't think. Not that I remember. So, but I've done that in my later adult years, because I too, when I was younger, had this affinity for fighter jets, which we kind of talked about off camera, and I've talked about on previous podcasts. But getting back to you though, so basically you knew you wanted to do something different than the rest of the family was into. So you're like, oh, this is cool, the loud noises, what's going on up there?
Yeah.
Are the chemtrails making frogs gay?
Right,
you probably wanted to know all that, right?
Yeah. It's just, I love science too, and just kind of going off that, the whole theory of flight and whatnot. And believe it or not, people kind of wonder, well, the Wright brothers, they flew out in North Carolina, and that was the first flight out there in Kitty Hawk, which I got to see while I was out there. It was awesome.
Nice.
Give me some chills a little bit, because like this is where it's all started. But for the most part, the Wright brothers were from Ohio, and a lot of aviation started up here in the Midwest, and even there's some rich history out in Davenport where Amelia Earhart's instructor actually flew out there in Davenport.
Flew to there, or was from there?
She was I wouldn't say she was from the area, but I know that she was trying to go to a flight school out on the East Coast, but they wouldn't let her because she was a woman. So they came back here, and Davenport had their own flight school, and she started flying there.
Amelia Earhart did.
Well, her instructor did.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So,
cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then Charles Lindbergh landing in Moline too, when it was just nothing but a pretty much cornfield at that point too. So there's a lot of rich history around here.
And then recently Prince, when he landed in.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Prince, right?
R.I.P.
Yep. R.I.P. So, but anyway, so that's so cool though. All that history, even some of it's here in the Quad Cities, but you wanted to do that. And for you, did it start where you're like, I want to know more, I want to fly, but is it a situation where you were like me, you thought about the fast stuff military stuff first? Or were you more like, this is what I see, this is what I appreciate now?
Yeah, I think
the commercial stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a little bit of the jet stuff. I mean, that's kind of the big thing is everybody thinks about, the military jets, and everybody wants to be a fighter pilot, which, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But when you actually learn more and more about it, it's actually not very much fun flying. I mean, it's kind of boring. It's kind of just, yeah, okay, well, you're going to go up and do your 1 hour flight, which you can do barrel rolls and all that kind of stuff. But, actually just being able to go overseas and travel and go see, from one point to another point. I mean, you're starting here in the middle of cornfield of Iowa, and then next thing you know, you're in Dubai,
Yeah.
That's just kind of one of those things that kind of shock, culture shock for the most part.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, the military jets are awesome. Blue Angels, Thunderbirds. I mean, always gotta love them, appreciate them. But yeah, I think once I got older and older, I just kind of was more dialed in on how do I become a pilot. That's kind of the biggest question of, where do you go? Who do you go to?
So what did you do?
So I did my research, and the Davenport Airport out there, I started flying lessons out there. I actually worked out there being a line service technician, which you go refuel the airplanes, kind of marshal in, the waving the sticks and the wands and, and whatnot. And then I just started flying lessons. And then, at that point I was going to community college at the same time and just kind of getting my jet ends done. And then next thing I know is I'm looking at schools, and Southern Illinois University has the biggest flight school in the state of Illinois. So I was like, well, I might have to go check them out. And I can remember the day where I went to go actually visit the school. So we played up in St. Bede near Chicago, and it was a late night game. It was started at 7:30, and I didn't get to, so we were going to Chicago here because SIU actually has Aviation Career Day, where they have United and American fly a bunch of students down from O'Hare all the way down to Carbondale, Illinois. And I was on that trip, and I didn't get to Chicago O'Hare till I want to say 12 o'clock at night, and we had a 7 a.m. departure in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And I'm walking, I'm all sore and stuff after this football game, and one of the pilots is like, yeah, it looks like you just got beat up. I was like, yeah, I played a football game last night. I'm just here for the SIU tour or whatever. He's like, all right, well, that's some dedication right there.
Nice.
So
Good.
it was awesome, and ever since I like the program, and it's one of the top aviation programs today, besides Embry-Riddle and North Dakota. But the rest is history at that point. So it was awesome.
And now, how many years did it take? Remind me. You told me, right? You were in school for a long time.
Yeah, it was. It's actually a 2-year degree, believe it or not, for the flight portion. But then you added on with a management degree. So it's a 4-year degree. So it'll turn into a bachelor's degree for the most part. So you get 2 degrees.
Cool. Nice.
So one in flight and then one in management. So
and you required both to be able to be a commercial pilot, basically.
You can just do the 2-year degree if you want.
But you went the extra mile then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just in case something happens, I have something to fall back on, and I can be an air traffic controller or manage Chicago O'Hare Airport or do something for an airline. So
that'd be so awesome.
Yeah. So it's a little fallback plan. So, yeah.
Cool. So, well, that's cool. So you've settled in and made yourself a nice little career, but also a fallback plan somewhere else in the aviation industry.
Yeah.
Which is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny. I feel like, and we were kind of talking about this beforehand, and it had to do with alcohol, actually, that the folks in the automotive industry and the aviation industry, maybe as a stereotypical type thing, or is that what would stereotypical?
Yeah.
There are alcoholics. A lot of them are, because in movies, right? It's always the used car guy that's always a drunk, or the guy who flies.
Right.
He's getting hammered and not necessarily hopefully flying the plane.
Right.
But yeah, so for us, it's we live in that world where we have to deal with those stereotypes all the time.
It's a 9-to-5 job.
It's a 9-to-5 job. The alcohol or the stereotypes?
Well, I think both.
Both, yes. Now, I'm curious, because I know how long have you been officially a commercial pilot and been flying?
Yeah, so I've been flying for 7 years now. And then commercially, I've been a commercial pilot for, I'd say, about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Is there any... And you don't have to say names, but has anybody ever been fired for drinking that you know of?
No, not that I know of.
That's good.
Not that I know of. We keep a tight tolerance.
Debunked.
Yeah.
Stereotypes debunked.
Yeah, 0.04 and then I think the saying is 8 hours bottle till throttle, but I don't know. I don't know if they're saying 8 bottles and then throttle. So
I like 8 bottles and then throttle. I mean, it sounds like more fun. I mean, let's face it. Isn't most of those controls automatic? Is it like autopilot, and you just got to get it off the ground, and you're like, oh,
right.
I'm gonna take a nap now.
I think that's later on in life, but for the most part, you get out there in the real world, in the real industry, it's there's not really autopilot. There
isn't. Okay.
I mean, there's a hit and miss. I guess it's depending on what airplane you fly. So
sure. And what do you know? And I'm not gonna know, of course. But what is the airplane you fly the most yourself?
So I fly a Piper Aztec.
I'm gonna look this up, but I want you to talk about it. Okay.
It's a Piper Aztec. It's a turbocharged Aztec. It's not the fastest thing in the world.
What model is it though? Do you know for sure?
Yeah, it's a PA 2327, or sorry, PA 23250.
There it is. And
Yep.
It'll be up on the screen up
Yep.
here so we can take a look at it. For you, I'm
Yep.
going to try to, I'm just used to looking this way, but go images. And then which one does it look
And
more
I
like?
would say it would be the, actually that yellow one right there.
The yellow one over here?
Yep.
Okay. So for those that are
there it
not
is.
watching YouTube, because this is on SoundCloud for
Right.
listening and YouTube for video, if you can check it out, I mean, that's pretty cool. Is it that same paint job?
I wouldn't say that paint job, but that paint job is actually pretty cool.
That is pretty cool,
I'm not gonna
right?
lie, that's actually a really nice paint job.
I mean, that looks pretty cool. Is that custom, or is that something that company does?
That is custom. That is totally custom.
Yeah,
So-
but that's the plane though.
Yeah, that's the exact plane I fly. Yep.
You know, I look at that, and is that a light underneath the nose of that plane?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you know what it reminds me? We were talking earlier off camera about the A10.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how it's got the paint and it looks like it's a shark, but that's where the guns are at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that smile look to it or
Right.
something with the black in that paint job.
Yeah.
And again, this will be on YouTube for those that are not watching; they're listening on SoundCloud. But so that's your ride.
That's my baby. Yep. That's my baby.
That's my baby.
Yep.
And so, what's the furthest you've ever flown one of those in one sitting?
I mean, they usually typically run about, you can probably get about 5 hours of flight time in them.
But is that because you run out of fuel, or because you're like, that's the max?
Fuel, yeah. Fuel is the biggest thing. I mean, you can probably go a little bit farther. I mean, it just really depends on altitude, and then you're leaning your mixtures is just, the amount of fuel flow that's actually going in the engine. So
Okay, so you control that,
Yep.
or is that automatic?
No, I control all that.
See, that's something in the automotive world. It's not like you're controlling inside the vehicle how much fuel you're dumping in. Now,
Right.
technically you are with the throttle, though. Obviously, when you hit the gas, it
Sure.
allows for that.
Sure.
But not in that way, though.
Not in that way. I mean, you have your, when you go out to the East Coast, you're closer to sea level. Well, you start going west. I mean, now you're in mountainous terrain, and now you're already, when you land somewhere, you're already at 8,000 feet above sea level. So it's just kind of, determining calculations and knowing the area that you're in and the performance that it's going to put out. Because that's, flying an airplane is usually pretty much all about calculations and whatnot, and making sure that you can get off the ground for the most part, because
or get to that landing strip maybe too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: how do you know? Is it like in a vehicle, a modern vehicle, it'll give you that distance till empty like readout, right? Does the plane have?
We have tools. I mean, we have our iPads. We can use we use ForeFlight a lot, which is an aviation app. Just kind of gives us that. Calculations. We just put the numbers in, and it just kind of calculates it out for us.
It predicts, like
it predicts a little bit. It's not really. I mean, it's accurate, but you just want to give yourself a little bit of cushion. And say, okay, well, I got this amount of fuel, and I weigh this much. So let's see how far I can go. For the most part. But
so this is interesting. I'm learning a lot. And that's why I love these podcasts. So when you're taking off, let's say you're taking off from the airport, and it's Davenport or Moline or wherever it is you're taking off from. Is there like a scale that you roll up on before you take off? And they're like, oh yeah, you weigh this much.
Nope. It's all calculated inside of the pilot operating handbook. So that's what. And then you'll obviously have So if your plane goes to maintenance or something like that, they will actually put out the scales and weigh your airplane with all the fuel taken out, as much fuel as they can take out, and then they'll weigh it and they say, okay, this airplane weighs this much. Or if you get certain instruments put in there, they have to reweigh the airplane.
Sure.
So those are your numbers, and that's what you go off of. Is like, okay, well, this airplane weighs 4,200 pounds after this date. The shop, it was in the shop, so we just go after those numbers. And typically, you just kind of use that. Some airplanes weigh a little bit heavier than others, just for, I don't know, some whatever reason,
For
like
more
payload or just, different instrumentation inside the airplane. But it's pretty interesting because you're like, okay, well, this one weighs 42 and this one weighs 41. That doesn't make, well, I guess that's what it is. So you just kind of roll with that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So for the automotive side of things, just in comparison, so every vehicle has a gross vehicle weight rating, or GCWR, gross combined weight rating,
Right.
which is referring to everything that's on the truck, you
Right.
know, trailer and payload.
Sure.
And do you have like, so for your Piper's how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Is there like that PA 23250? Does that have like a specific max payload?
Yeah. So you have your ramp weight, and then you have your takeoff weight.
So what's ramp weight?
Ramp weight is just basically, so you can basically load as much as you can in the airplane, and that's the max ramp weight without damaging the landing gear or, the wings or, something like that. They even have, there's another weight. Some planes have it, some don't, but it's actually what's called a zero fuel weight. So you add the luggage before you're adding the fuel.
So what is the luggage though?
Luggage could be, it could be this certain amount of number versus, so like say, okay, my plane weighs 4,200 pounds. I have an empty fuel weight of 4,900. So I could load, quite a bit of luggage until I reach 4,900, but I can't go past 4,900 pounds.
Sure. That's a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of cocaine.
It is a lot of cocaine, but
Yes.
they need money. So
Right.
do I. So
And that justifies it in my eyes. I'm just saying, right?
I mean,
yes,
that'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
I've seen enough TV shows and movies. I know what goes on in those
American
airplanes.
Made.
Yes.
Cheers, Tom Cruise. That was an awesome movie.
I think of even recently on Netflix, like Narcos, and they're flying. Aren't they flying drugs and stuff like that too?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I can only imagine. So let me ask you this then, and I know we're really jumping all over the place because
Yeah.
I want to learn more on
Yeah,
this.
it's a very interesting.
So, is there airplane police? Is there airplane police?
There's not airplane police, but I like to say this: Big Brother is always watching.
The government,
Government,
local or national or federal?
well, air traffic controllers.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are they going to know anything that's going on?
They can see you on GPS, but that's when you usually turn your transponder off, and then they can't really find you.
That
So
sounds sketchy as fuck.
Yeah, you don't know where you are, so you could just be a flock of birds, or you could be an alien.
You just mess with them
Yeah,
on time?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Just from time to time,
Yeah.
I don't need to let them know where I live and stuff. So
Okay, so you brought this up, and I'm going to go there. And
Yeah.
I brought up something earlier that was kind of in fun. I
Yeah.
mentioned chemtrails with
chemtrails, yeah.
making frogs gay and stuff like that. But the alien thing, though, that I've always, so earlier on in life, and I think it's because I saw enough maybe movies or, saw enough stories or something online.
Encounters
or
of the
something.
third kind or something.
Whatever it is, right? Yeah. So obviously there's a lot of pilots out there that have claimed over the years they've seen something or that, that was not normal, that was
Right.
definitely not another airplane.
Right.
So I'm going to start with this, and this, don't think like I'm fishing for you to look like you're crazy. Have you seen anything?
I personally have not.
Okay. Have you talked to anybody that has seen something?
No, I don't know. I don't think we get that high enough.
You
the
don't get that high?
Yeah, like
Okay.
the commercial pilots do.
Sure.
I mean, I should say the airliners do, but I think once you start flying around Area 51 out there in Nevada, I think
They won't let you get that close.
No, they won't. But I mean, I
Right.
think that's where you start seeing some stuff.
Yeah. Now, and you've probably seen a lot of those maybe documentaries or shows in
Yeah.
the past, like I probably
yeah.
have, just because I'm into that kind of stuff too.
Right.
I feel like if you get anywhere close, not just on the ground but in the air,
Sure.
they're threatening to take you down right away.
Oh yeah.
If you don't turn back, like one warning only kind of situation.
I mean,
right?
you have where you are at all times. I mean, you have the maps and stuff that will tell you. I think the biggest thing. I mean, for me personally, when I was out east, I got to fly through a lot of restricted airspace, which was a lot of the Marine, Harrier.
Sweet.
Yeah, F-18.
Harrier. Yeah. Are they still making Harriers?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Are they?
F-18, type controlled fields, and they were pretty awesome. Like, yeah, you're cleared to go through restricted airspace. I'm like, sweet. I'm a total badass.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome.
But
Danger zone.
Yeah, exactly. It's experience. That's all that matters. It's experience.
You watch Archer at all? You know what that show is?
I've heard of it, but I actually haven't watched it.
It's hilarious. If you're into adult cartoons, you got to watch that Archer because he like references the main guy Archer.
Sure.
Mentions it's kind of like one of those fun phrases like danger zone, just because he's a spy,
Sure.
so he's always in the danger zone.
Right.
Yeah. So if I throw those little one-liners, I'm sorry if it seems like I'm coming across as weird, but some people that are watching will know it. I know my good friend Robert Steinbeck, Billy Bob, he's going to be on the podcast next year. He's a huge Archer fan too.
Nice.
So if I let a lot of danger zones out and stuff, you'll know it's not Tom Cruise necessarily.
It's Archer.
It's actually Archer. So
that's awesome though.
So, but you went through restricted airspace, feeling like a badass.
Yeah.
And were you in the Piper?
I was in the Piper.
Yes. There is nothing wrong. I'm laughing, but there's nothing wrong with a Piper as far as I'm concerned.
No.
I think it's badass enough. He can fly a plane.
You know, I thought it was kind of funny looking, but you know, when I actually got to fly that thing, I mean, it was a true sweetheart. I mean, she did everything I told her to do.
It's your baby.
Yeah, that is my baby.
Do you like when you walk in like and sit in the seat and you're like, all right, do you like have a moment or anything like that?
Yeah. I'm just like, man, this is me. I'm in control of this. This is awesome.
That's so awesome. I would love, you know, even if it wasn't just to like, I'm sure there's got to be like helicopter, and I feel like they have lessons for that too. But like airplane lessons just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
How much does something like that cost?
Roughly. I mean, it really just depends where you go. I mean, average cost to get a pilot's license nowadays is probably around $14,000.
Just for recreational fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's your pilot's license. You get a pilot's license. You can go rent a plane. You know, you can go buy-ins with somebody. And
let me give you a comparison then. So for me, I've been to the Richard Petty driving experience before.
Sure.
Which is basically you drive retired stock cars around a NASCAR track.
Sure.
And, you know, you get suited up, you do the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
They teach you basics, fundamentals, and you basically pay to lap the track a few times.
That's awesome.
However it is. And I did that before, and it was awesome. Got a plaque and my time sheet that showed my lap times and everything. There was nothing like that for planes then.
No. I mean,
damn it.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can go to your local airport. You know, I would do your research first. You can go do an intro flight. I think it's like $60 around there, maybe 60 to 100. I mean, that's, you know, I'd say the average, but you can go up and.
How long is that flight for that kind of money?
About an hour. Yeah.
I mean, that's cheaper than the Richard Petty driving experience. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, you can do that. You can do that for sure.
Yeah. I would like to do it at some point. It'd be fun. It doesn't, you know, planes don't bother me. I travel a lot for my work.
Sure.
For McDonald's, if you didn't know that.
McDonald's.
But that's the joke. But anyway, so I travel a lot. It's not very often I fly, but when I do, it doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Some people freak out.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think it's because I'm enthusiastic about it at some degree, you know.
Oh yeah.
I know we're making the frogs gay on the ground and stuff with the chemtrails.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the second time I've dropped that now, or third time. So I know it's not true, but it's funny that people believe that kind of stuff. Or maybe you're gonna explain to me something else that I don't know.
Well, here's the whole thought process of this. I mean, okay, so you're up at 40,000 feet, right?
Yep.
It's not so. Today is like 20 degrees outside.
Yes.
It's about negative 40, 50 degrees up there. I mean,
oh yeah, it's elevation. You know, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you think about it when you start your car, you know, and you see the exhaust come out of the tailpipe. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what's happening up there. It's just
exhaust.
It's the heat, and then it's crystallizing. That's all it is.
Sure. So is my exhaust making the squirrels gay around here?
Yeah, it is. It's a problem. It's a real problem. Maybe even transgender. We don't know yet.
That's nothing. Or transgender or gender neutral or all these other ones out there that are new, and you know that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I respect it. That's you. You do you.
You do you.
You do you.
I love that phrase. You do you, because it totally makes sense too. Yeah. But still, I remember hearing a couple of the fun ones that have to do with, you know, flying and things like that and I don't know if you've on previous podcasts I've said how I got into podcasts, because I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, because I'm in the truck a lot, right? Sure. Driving for work, going from Golden Arches to Golden Arches around the Midwest, and basically I got tired of listening to music all the time.
Sure.
And then I'm like, all right, well, let's do podcasts. And I found Joe Rogan. He like interviews all these unique and interesting people.
Yeah.
And you know, you got flat earthers on there, and you got people that conspiracy theory guys that bring up all this shit, and he's like, oh my God.
I love it.
Yeah, it's hilarious, right? These people are, it's like, and no offense, but it's like, if you're into this, but religion is, I feel like it's the same kind of thing. If you can convince yourself that much the shit's real, and then you like try to convince other people about it too,
right?
Like the chemtrails that make frogs gay,
right?
And I guess for those that may not know this, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on a podcast, and if you Google search this, which they can, of course, we're not going to do it right now,
right.
But it has to do with the exhaust from the plane,
right,
falls to the earth, and the government's involved, and it makes the frogs gay, which then in turn does something else.
Yeah. It makes the turtles, you know, start fisting themselves, and then you know, turn into a raptor, velociraptor, and then now we're all done for.
It's like fucking Jurassic Park around here. That's what's going to happen.
Jesus.
They've failed so far. That's the funny part. But people believe this shit, like the flat Earth stuff too.
Oh yeah.
You know So I know you're probably not high enough up in the skies yet to really see curvatures and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your 2 cents on that? Like when people talk about flat Earth and
it's not flat.
Well, obviously,
it's not flat at all. I mean, we're high enough to where it's more of a, you know, you go up there, you know, you see the horizon. You can see the horizon of the Earth.
How cool is that too?
It's awesome. I mean, you get to go. I mean, there's been multiple times where I'm flying and you know it's the, you know, the end of the sortie and. You know, I'm flying and, you know, you just see that sunset go down and it's beautiful. It's beautiful up there. You get to see just miles and it's God's creation. It's awesome.
That's so cool too.
It's amazing. It's just, it really is mind boggling of just, you know, man flying.
A new perspective on life.
Yeah.
I would feel like, so, you know what that feeling is for me? I'm not up in a plane, but some parts in northern Iowa that I travel, there's so many rolling hills, and you get up, you start to climb these hills, and I think about like Elkader, Iowa area.
Oh yeah,
and
even
like
Galena. I mean,
Galena's the same kind of thing too.
Up hilly, and
you get up there in some of these certain parts, and then all of a sudden you're looking down, you get to the right spot, and you can see farm after farm after woods after houses after woods, and you see like probably the next county over.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But being able to see the horizon and being able to see how many miles out, I mean, you think that is?
Oh, I mean, I'd say on a good day, at least maybe 50 to 100 miles.
50 to 100.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's so awesome. You can see that far out in front of you, or see something dropping. Yeah. Below that crest, right?
Yeah.
Of the
yeah.
And you said it's God's creation, and so I never like talking politics and religion, but like religion wise, since I jokingly brought that up earlier. So are you're a religious man then?
Yeah, I mean I try to be. I mean I'm Catholic, but
okay. You know, did being a pilot make you more confident because you see this and then you're like, yeah, you know, this is like, it's like reconfirming, like, how could this be without, you know?
I think it was more of a, you know, you just get a whole perspective on life. I mean, when you're up there, it's just kind of it's just you and the airplane. I mean, that's just kind of the biggest thing. And how long aviation's actually been around. It's been around for about 130 years, and the wheel's been invented BC, you know, before Christ and all this kind of stuff. But
sure,
it's just kind of one of those powerful moments where you're just like, it's me, the airplane, I'm in charge, you know, I say what goes. Sure. It's one of those things that kind of, and yeah, just seeing like different parts of the you know, United States or even the world. I haven't gone overseas. I mean, I have gone overseas. I haven't flown myself overseas. But,
right, but you've been.
But yeah, I've been to different countries, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, wow, yeah. I mean, this is insane because you know you have the whole scientific aspect, and then you have the whole religion aspect, and I respect both. You know,
that's cool.
That's I think it was in one movie where they're like, you know, science only goes so far, and then comes God. So I mean. I don't know.
And I typically can sometimes joke about things like that. Yeah. I respect people,
right?
Like the transgender stuff we were saying. Whatever, right. You do you.
Yeah,
right.
You do
I'm totally cool with that.
Right.
The fun thing that I will always shoot down is flat earthers and you know these people that are Some of this crazy shit they
just
come
insane,
up with.
just on acid all the time, 24/7.
It's not gonna be cocaine. It might as well be acid.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pick your battles. Choose what you're comfortable with.
Some weird people out there, I tell you.
Kids, don't even touch it. For the kids that are watching out there, it's serious stuff.
Yeah.
Stay in school.
Don't do it.
Stay in school, and don't drink scotch until you're of age. Right? How you doing with that scotch?
It's great. Yeah.
Is it coming okay?
I'm
Sipping
going,
it?
Yeah.
So if I'm drinking a lot faster than you, it's because I'm an alcoholic. So
I just think you're more experienced. I wouldn't say alcoholic. I would just say more experienced.
more experienced, alcoholic, potato, whatever
Right,
you want.
right.
I swear I'm not an alcoholic. But yeah, my my office does smell of rich mahogany though. 'Cause there is. And
delightful.
I'm not trying to reference Anchorman and stuff like that.
Love
I don't
that
have
movie.
a library, but I do have a lot of instruments that have mahogany.
Those are very nice.
And we have some scotch. And this may be my third glass, but I don't care because I had a long drive today.
He's plugging along.
I have been stressed and haven't had time to unwind. This is me unwinding at the same time.
This is awesome.
So I appreciate you doing this because you know what? This is my unwind time.
Yes.
I have friends over, hang out, have
On
a
a Friday
scotch.
night. There we go.
On a Friday night, which is perfect. And we're sitting here and we're talking about pipers. We're talking about gay frogs. And we're talking about acid. There's all kinds of stuff that are brought up. That could be like
Anything.
Anything's
Anything's possible.
But the fun thing is I'm still learning. And the great thing is that I have so many questions that I'm hoping I can remember to talk about.
Yeah.
So let's jump back.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. Your name was brought up at my podcast when I was in Fargo this past week because Kevin McMaster, who was on episode 13, he works for the largest tire distributor in the United States.
Okay.
And he handles territory up in that North Dakota, South Dakota, whatever, Minneapolis, or Minnesota region. We were sitting tires. He does automotive only.
Sure.
We're like, there's agriculture. He was telling me all these different. And we were talking, what about airplanes? Because I got
Right.
Corey coming on.
Right.
And I'm like, I wonder, do airplanes have specific tires? Are they Goodyears? Do they have white letters that say Goodyear on them? No, I'm just kidding. Of course.
Right.
Do you know anything about that?
Goodyear makes airplanes. Yeah.
Okay.
Firestone does too.
They do.
It's called Firehawk, but yeah,
they make a Firehawk for cars and vehicles too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
That's
See,
awesome.
Kevin, I hope you're watching. We just found out for sure. Firestone and Goodyear, they make tires for airplanes.
Yeah, Bridgestone does, and it just really depends on what you want to use.
That's so cool. But all these companies make airplane tires.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. What's that division like? I want to see that marketing team and that division team at the headquarters be like, so what are we working on this year? Well, there's a new Piper model coming out. We need to make sure we supply at least one tire for that.
Well, the biggest thing is certification. The FAA will certify it and say, all right, well, this tire costs this much now. So airplane tires, that's the right business. Aviation is expensive in general. So the biggest thing is certification. And then, I believe, off the top of my head, this is an educated guess, but I believe every 50 landings in a jet airliner, the tires are replaced. If they are starting to bald, or if they see a flat spot, it could be a brand new tire and they see a flat spot, replaced.
So my first truck I ever had was a Chevy 91. I'll never forget it. 91 Chevy S10, regular cab, short box, 4.3 V6 and a 2-wheel drive configuration.
Nice.
And I put Firestone Firehawks on that
yeah.
mofo. That was my summer tires because it was 2-wheel drive. I put Bridgestone Blizzaks on
nice.
the winter, which is a winter ice tire.
Okay.
Just so because you said Firehawks earlier, I'm like, oh my God,
Firehawk.
That's the same tire I had on my S10. But Firehawk. And we were talking a lot about tires on the podcast with Kevin, but I don't even know. I feel like that looks like the tread pattern.
Yeah.
I didn't even, I'm not going to get into the airplane side, but it's so funny that, this company makes tires that are Firehawks for vehicles and for airplanes. That's so awesome.
I want to say I had some Firehawks on my Grand Am GT too.
Did you really?
I believe so.
What year was your Grand Am GT?
It was I want to say it was a 99.
Was it GT back then, or was it a
Yeah,
SE?
it was a GT.
Would it have the chromey wheels, or
No, it had just the
what year was that again? 99?
99 Grand Am. I got it from John Keaty. You remember John Keaty's?
Yeah. Now it's that green location up there, right?
Yeah.
They tore down the building, did it all fresh.
I don't think I think they remodeled it.
Is that what it was?
I think if I stand correctly.
I'm a Chevy guy, not a Pontiac or not a GMC Buick guy, because I know that store.
Sure.
I have the green store in Moline.
Okay.
East Moline.
Okay.
God, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is that I remember these. So it was the alloys that had ABS on like the center caps.
But it was that black one there, the exact black one.
That one?
Yep.
2-door?
Yep.
You had a 2-door?
Yeah.
Baller.
I was a total badass in high school.
That's awesome. I
had
mean,
the taillights tinted, everything. It was awesome.
Look at that with the red letters.
Oh yeah.
That is totally up my alley, basic bitch and all, but you didn't have the chromies like that one?
No, I didn't go all out like that.
I feel like maybe that came later or was that not a 99? I don't know. I feel like that same body style was around for a while.
Yeah.
So
it was a good car.
It was.
I liked it. I mean, got me A to B, and the only downfall I hated about that car was the security lock system that just one day
passkey 3.
Yeah, I literally came out of basketball practice and my security light came on. I had to wait 15 minutes to start it, and it was cold. I was pretty upset about that.
Was this the key that you hold on? So the old GM keys. So I know these systems pretty well. Oh, that did not give me the results I really wanted. It was not a chip key, was it?
No.
So it was more like that other one I showed you?
Yeah.
Or it would have been this style?
Yep.
Passkey 3. PK3 meant passkey 3. So if you're ever wondering, that was the security system that was built into the key.
Sure.
That matched it up to the ignition.
Uh-huh.
So you couldn't just roll up with a generic key and make that shit work.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But you said what was the problem you had on that old Grand Am?
Yeah, it was just a security light came on and I had to wait 15 minutes to be able to start it, and that was it.
That was about it. Okay.
But then
gotcha.
I did get it taken. I don't know if it was Best Buy or some. They did something to where they actually bypassed it.
Like with an aftermarket security system?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I just was so fed up with it. I'm like, I can't deal with this.
So I started in the automotive industry in 2003, 03. I feel like it was 03. That was we still had Pontiacs. I was actually selling Pontiacs back then too.
Okay.
So I remember Bonneville's Grand Am. I sold Grand Ams, I sold Bonnevilles, I sold later on the G5s.
Oh, yeah.
And the later I sold GTOs when they came back.
Oh,
I sold G8s when they came out.
Those are nice.
I sold all those. I still have memorabilia from those days out in the garage.
Really?
From my car selling days.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking earlier about the stereotypes of the car business and the pilots. He's kind of debunked the pilot or the commercial pilot side of it. They're not all alcoholics,
right?
But there's a lot of automotive guys out there that drink a lot.
Well, the funny thing is, so when I was in school, we shared so it was a transportation building. We shared it with the automotive guys.
You did.
So yeah, we were that tight. We were
that
close.
If that doesn't, say anything, it's more.
Yeah, we saw Cadillac STVs and all that kind of or is it STV or?
So it depends on what year. So if I sold Cadillacs back in the day too, my dealership had Cadillac from 03 when I started. They already had it before, and then they lost it in when was the bankruptcy? 08, 09. Is that what it was? GM had the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And they took away a lot of Cadillac franchise dealers.
Okay.
But yeah, I sold Escalades new, man. I sold all kinds of stuff. So the Cadillac models I remember that had 3 digits were going to go CTS, DTS, STS, ATS. That's newer. But DHS. Which one do you think it was?
I think it was the CTSV, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Corvette,
dude.
Yeah.
With the Corvette powertrain.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah, that would have been initially don't hate on me if you're listening. I'm kind of drunk. 5.7. It was the 400 horsepower 5.7 at first, which was a Z06 Corvette powertrain.
Yep.
And then it went to a 6-liter eventually.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. God, I feel like that's what it went to. And then it jumped to like 450, then 550. And then now, God, I feel like the new CTS is.
Yeah. I mean, they're supercharged now, I want to say.
They are. They're still using Corvette powertrains.
Yeah.
Now let's see what they're up to. Oh yeah, they're
Yep.
There are things. If I won the lottery, people would be going like, "Oh, I'm buying Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that." I'm like, "I'm buying a freaking Cadillac CTS-V."
That's right. I'm throwing a cam in there, and
You don't need to add. Honestly, you don't need to add anything to this thing. This thing is a beast. I mean, you can if you want, but
I just want it to gallop. That's all I want. I want to show up to the stuff and be like, "Damn, what does he have in that vehicle?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right."
And they sound great without doing anything.
Right,
to it.
they do. Yeah. But I love that. I love the galloping sound. I've always liked the big cam sound, is where it's about ready to die.
Oh, but, yeah.
I mean, it takes off like a bat out of hell. So
only 640 horsepower.
Yeah, off the line.
Only 640 horsepower. 6.2 now, supercharged 6.2.
Still good gas mileage. 21 on the highway, so that's really all that matters.
I'm not gonna lie. If I bought one of those, I would try to get 14 if I was lucky. I would be happy with 14 on the highway.
I don't think I would drive it enough to get the actual, because I'd put it away, during the winter time.
I understand.
And just be like, okay, well, looks like I'm going to Whitey's today at 120 miles an hour. Or,
when you need that turtle Sunday now.
Yeah, exactly.
You need it yesterday.
Everybody jump in. We're going.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're going now. And that's the great thing about a car like that too, is if you got friends or family. Like for me, it's family, right? So people are like, oh, I'm gonna get a 2-seater. I'm like, man, I got kids.
Right.
I need room for the boys.
Right.
So. And that would be my ride for sure. So when I started in the car business, and I swear we're going to get back to the pilot stuff because I want to hear more about that. Don't let me forget.
Yeah.
We're not that far and we're doing good. So we got plenty of time.
This is Friday. This is awesome. This is fun.
Exactly. So when I started in the car business in the early 2000s, that 03 area, the first gen CTS-V came out. And first gen CTS-V, I've got a picture somewhere. I'll show it to you if I can find it after we're done with the podcast. I did training on first gen CTS-V, that 400 horsepower version,
Right.
Where's my Wikipedia? Where's my Wikipedia page? Oh, that's because I put 2019. That's right. CTS-V wiki. Wiki. And there it is. Was it 04 first year? 04?
Yeah,
Where is it?
All right. First generation.
Yes.
04. Yeah.
So I've got a picture somewhere I'll show you. Young me. Your age when I met you,
sure.
Young person.
19.
I would have been 20 then, but yeah. But yeah, first gen, dude, I drove those. We did a training event. I went to Chicago in Joliet.
Oh, those are awesome.
And 5.7 first gen, and then 6-liter afterwards.
Yep.
I knew that was what it was. It
LS2.
seems like yesterday. And
it used to be yesterday.
Badass. So, I mean, they didn't look like much back then. So the fun thing, and I know I'm really spiraling out of control. What's it called when an airplane gets into an uncontrolled? Is that a spin or what?
Spin? Yeah.
It's kind of like Tom Cruise in a spin.
Flat
Top
spin.
Gun.
Yeah.
So basically, I remember CTS first gen when it came out before the CTS-V version came out. They had CTS in the Matrix Reloaded movie, I feel like is what it was, or Revolutions. I don't know if you know what the Matrix movies are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was had those cars in that movie before they were even production cars.
Really?
Like early.
Okay.
Another fun fact: did we bring up Jurassic Park earlier?
Yeah, we did.
I feel like we did. So maybe I brought it up. What were we talking about again?
I think
we were talking about turtles.
Yeah, fisting themselves, and
I'll never forget that now. So, Mercedes. The ML series, that's another movie car that came out before the production one came out. Jurassic Park, Mercedes, ML. So the fun fact on that one I remember is that
was in Jurassic Park 3.
Well, it was also in the very, very first Jurassic Park. Hold on, let's go 1. Mercedes ML. What's his name? Newman from Seinfeld. He was in that movie, right? The fat guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And there it is. Gen 1. Oh, these are toys. What the hell, man?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Hold on.
I thought that was a Lexus.
Jurassic Park. No, hell no. Those were Mercedes.
Wow.
Mercedes. I don't remember his name. I'm putting Newman.
Newman.
From Seinfeld. There we go.
Newman.
Newman.
Yeah. Just have Beavis and Butthead pronounce it Newman. You said Newman.
We got hold on here. Yeah, the first gen one I don't know if that's first gen, but there's what was his name in that? The Wranglers were on, not the Wranglers. It was the Mercedes ML 3. I feel like 320. God, I'm really getting sidetracked here.
No, this is good.
Stick with me on this.
We need to find this.
We need to.
The world needs answers. We're giving them to them.
Just let Drunk Ed do his thing, okay? Jurassic Park, Mercedes ML. It was the first. There it is.
Okay.
So 1997, 320.
Nice.
Yep. So the fun thing is this, before this vehicle was even a production vehicle, they gave it to the movie, and they used it. They used it on the movie before it was actually for sale to the public.
Wow.
The same with that CTS. It was on the Matrix movie, and then it was for sale to the public.
Okay.
So I always remember those kinds of vehicles because I'm automotive side of things,
right.
more.
Yeah.
And I remember those little details.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Right.
Yeah. John Candy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collectively.
Is that one of your favorite movies because of the...
Honestly, one of my favorite movies, and honestly, believe it or not, it's not Top Gun, but I do love...
That's good because I judge you for Top Gun.
I do love Top Gun, though.
I mean,
I just want to be in that movie. Like,
well, of course,
it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to say it's a toss-up now since I saw First Man, because First Man just came out like a couple weeks ago.
It's the one we were just talking about earlier,
yeah.
too? Who's in that again?
That's with Ryan Gosling.
The Man on the Moon, where they first...
Neil Armstrong.
Okay, that's what it is.
That was Apollo 11, because there's Apollo 13. Apollo 13 was my favorite movie. Well, now...
Tom Hanks?
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Yep. Lieutenant Dan. And,
the Lieutenant Dan band?
Yeah. And
that is hilarious. We talked about that earlier.
And then, Gary Sinise, but, and then Bill, can't think of his name, Twister.
Oh, Pullman.
No, not Pullman.
Not Bill Pullman?
Can't really think of his name right now. Why can't I think of his name? Bill Paxton.
Paxton.
Yeah.
Who the hell was Bill Pullman? That's going to drive me crazy. Hold on. Just quick check. That's okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, that's Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day, Casper.
This is our Independence Day.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of fighter jets in it, which I fucking loved.
And
with
then
Will Smith.
And then you had, was it Dennis Quaid?
Yes.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid or his brother? Was it? I want to say, I think it is Dennis.
Independence Day cast. Thanks, Google, for helping Drunk Ed out. Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, of course.
Randy Quaid.
Jurassic Park throwback.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie, of course.
Where he shows up drunk. He's a drunk pilot.
Shitter's full.
Yeah. Crop says, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a pilot. You know, it's all drunkenly saying that, you know.
Yes, I remember that too. That's awesome. I mean, if you had that opportunity,
you'd be
like, I'm a pilot.
I'm here to serve.
I'm a pilot.
Yeah, I'm a pilot, and I'll fly that F-18 for you.
With a bottle of scotch. Yeah. Thanks, Grandpa Ned.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, man, we really got all over the place there. So let's do some tiebacks really quick. Bill Pullman.
Paxton.
Not Bill Paxton, who was in Twister. And then Randy Quaid. Look at that picture of Randy Quaid.
I know.
Does he not look crazy?
Looks like a genius.
Crazy genius.
Yeah.
Right. And Will Smith. Is he going to be in the new Aladdin movie coming out? Did you hear about that?
I saw the previews. I didn't know who was going to be in that.
Is Will Smith Aladdin? Aladdin. Whoop. There's only one L in Aladdin. Just so you know.
Let's see.
Is there actually? Oh shit, there is. I haven't seen this yet. Can we watch it?
Yeah, watch it.
We're gonna watch it on the podcast because we're talking movies now. Oh, look at that. Here we go. Wait for it.
Oh,
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Will Smith.
I'm assuming we're gonna have some sound here. There we go. Today's episode of Ed Madison Podcast Project is brought to you by the upcoming movie Aladdin featuring
Disney.
Will Smith.
Right.
Is this Disney? Oh, Disney's definitely going to take this off YouTube now if I'm going to play this. How long is this?
I think it's a minute 28.
God damn it.
We're sucked in now.
Please, YouTube, do not kick me off with this episode. I don't make money on these episodes, so fuck them.
Yeah, right.
Right.
We're not here to make money.
Yeah. So Will Smith going to be Aladdin. And
hopefully. We'll see.
Who was the... Wait. Will Smith isn't going to be the genie, is he?
I don't know.
That's disappointing.
No, I don't think he will. I don't think that's.
Is he Aladdin? Let's find out. We're gonna watch this here. It's
Maybe
gonna
he's
show us.
Jafar. I don't know.
Maybe he's Jafar. We're about to find out.
Yeah, we're see here.
Yeah, let's see. It didn't even show us anything.
Okay,
That's definitely not Will Smith.
That's not Will Smith.
Right. What's the monkey's name?
Abu.
Abu. How could I forget that? That's like when he's reaching for it, and he's like, Abu's gonna grab the.
Will Smith, Aladdin. But
yeah.
What is that? Is it maybe a different Will Smith?
No, it's like the Will Smith. It's like getting jiggy with it. No.
That's weird. I've.
Oh, he is. Look at this. Follow up in Robin Williams' Genius Footsteps. I feel like you can't replace Robin Williams.
No.
And I mean,
No,
I
you
get
can't.
it. I mean, I'm okay with the Black Genie. I'm just saying it's Will Smith though. I mean, he's definitely good with Miami.
Yeah.
That song.
He's just
that?
he's not as funny as Robin Williams. He just doesn't. I don't see him putting the extra effort or anything like Robin. I mean, it was just so natural for Robin Williams to come up with these. You know.
I feel like if I remember reading something correctly, is that he did a lot of those lines. He did freestyled a lot of those lines, and they changed his lips to sync up later. So like he basically did his thing,
right? And
then they just kind of ran with it because it was better, probably.
Right. Yeah.
I remember reading something about that. We can check that out later, but
yeah, that's.
So yeah, Will Smith, don't fuck it up because Robin Williams was a damn good genie.
Yes, he was.
Was he in all three or just the first two?
For what?
For the original cartoon ones. I feel like Robin Williams may not have even been in all of them.
For Aladdin?
Yeah, for Aladdin. Aladdin original.
Yeah, he was.
Movies. Original movies. Return of Jafar. Hold on. Okay, Aladdin, Return of Jafar, Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Was he in all three of them?
I honestly did not know there was 2 or 3.
He was in all three of them, thankfully. I feel like there was something. This is really getting deep, but I feel like Robin Williams, Aladdin, he got screwed. Like on.
No, he did.
You remember reading that too?
Yeah, he did.
What was the deal on that?
I can't remember exactly what it was, but he did get screwed, and you can't screw over Robin Williams.
Yeah, money. There was some situation where he got. In gratitude for his success with Touchstone Pictures' Good Morning Vietnam, Robin Williams voiced the genie for SAG scale pay. Is that something? I recognize SAG. I can't remember what it stands for, like the SAG Awards and stuff like that.
Something like that.
Instead of asking for his asking fee, oh my God, $75,000 instead of $8 million.
Wow.
And condition that his name or image not be used for marketing and his supporting character not take more than 25% of space on advertising. Oh, so because he was such a big name,
yeah,
they didn't want him focusing on him.
Right. Which is, that's kind of what, interesting of what, if you're an actor of some of the contracts you're supposed to be putting out or signing, I guess, for the most part, but that's pretty detailed. That
is detailed. There's something here. Robin Williams once got so upset with Disney that the company sent him $1 million Picasso peace offering. In '92, Disney's animated feature Aladdin ranked in a whopping $504 million. Back then, that was a lot of money.
Sure. Part
of the film's success was due to Robin Williams' beloved genie character, whom the late actor voiced and improvised so well that Disney decided to make Genie a pivotal role. Williams ended up recording about 30 hours of written improvised. That was the thing, right? Improvised.
Right.
Oh, I lost my
cursor.
I just realized I lost it up there too. Stop. Here we go. Now is it up there again?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So you're not trying to read. That's why part of the reason I got this massive screen up here, so my guest could look up here, and I could. I'm still by habit. I'm still looking over here. Let's see here though. Yeah, Williams ended up recording about 30 hours of written and improvised dialogue for Aladdin because, according to the 1993 interview with New York Magazine, he wanted to leave something wonderful behind for his kids. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he took a hefty pay cut because that's right, $75,000 instead of the usual fee. Oh my God. That's a huge effing difference.
Right.
Could you imagine? I can only imagine if I'm like, I told this guy, I'm like, yeah, I'll work for you, for like $20 instead of, I know everybody else is getting paid like $200 or 500 or
Right.
1,000. I'll do it for $50. I'm your friend, or is that's, because I want
Right.
to, and then if it made that much money, I'd be, how much of this I'd be drinking
Oh yeah.
if I found out that's all I, took for money.
Right. Well, I feel like Robin Williams is such a humble human being.
Yeah,
I don't
good
think
guy,
he was
right?
necessarily, obviously in it for the money, but he was there to imprint his name as one of the funniest guys on the planet for the most part, and just being the wonderful actor he is. Patch Adams, all that kind of stuff, and
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire,
right.
and I think a lot of it has to do with the agents. They're like, well, you should.
And I see up here too. It's like
Yeah.
he got, he was upset about the deal he made, probably because his agent worked that with him too.
Right.
He wasn't working by himself at that
Right.
point.
Right.
The agents, he probably talked to the agent. Agent's like, yeah, whatever, because the agent was probably on acid or cocaine or
Right.
something. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever you want, 75,000. I don't care because you made so much money on the last movie you made, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But I feel like you should be after it. I feel like even though you're humble and you're like not trying to make so much money that they can't afford you, but I feel like, God, 75,000.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're saying is that Disney offered him a Picasso piece just to kind of settle it.
Right.
I mean,
But that's the thing with Disney. Disney is such a successful company. I mean, like I said, everybody thinks it's a monopoly, but there's 5 ownerships in Disney.
so what does Disney own today? Do you know?
They own ESPN.
They do own ESPN.
They own ESPN. They own Star Wars.
Right, the franchise for Star Wars
I
now.
want to say they own Pixar.
Yep, I remember that too.
Jesus, they own a lot of shit.
Yeah, Disney obviously.
I mean, I think they have so Disney has, I want to say 33,000 acres down in Florida. I believe they
33,000 acres.
They've only built 12,000 acres on 12,000 acres. Yeah.
So what are they saving it for?
I don't know.
Another park?
Expansion, probably. Legoland or Star Wars Land or.
I've been to a Legoland in Chicago with the boys. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Have you been to one? You should go. Even as an adult, it's fun to go.
I have been to Legoland, but yeah, I want to go back to Disney though. Disney was awesome.
When was the last time you went to Disney?
I went to Disney 2 years ago. We did like a New Year's special, so we went down in March, and yeah, it was like an all inclusive type thing. So we had like 3 park passes. So the first day we went to, well, I should say we got there Sunday, so we visited downtown Disney, which was awesome. It was a really cool experience downtown Disney because there's so much to do. And then our first day was Hollywood Studios. So we did rides all day. And then Tuesday we went to Cocoa Beach. And then Wednesday we went to Epcot.
Nice.
And I don't know whose idea was to start off in Mexico, but I got so slammed. I'm just like, after like, there's a bunch of tequila. I'm like, oh, like, I don't even know if I can make, and the next thing was Germany. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is terrible idea. We should have started on the other end and gone that way. Cause I think it was like England or something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, after Epcot, we did Thursday. Thursday was the boardwalk down there. That was pretty cool. And then Friday was Magic Kingdom, which was awesome. So it was just the amount of precision and ideas that go behind that magical place is unbelievable.
So, McDonald's. Yes. Anyway, so they follow the Disney. So there's a Disney retreat where they send people in the industry It's not McDonald's. Okay, if you caught on by now, it's not McDonald's. All right. So they send there's like the automotive world. They send high up people to this Disney program. So GM's trying to do this, and they're trying to do something similar where it's like the same things, like the name badges with your hometowns.
Sure.
That's not the biggest part of it. I'm trying to remember what else. Like the always smiling, what I'm saying? And and I don't even, without getting too deep into that, I guess that Disney precision that you're talking about or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Other companies, massive companies, are adopting those ways.
Yeah.
And they're going to school at Disney to learn their ways.
Yeah.
So Disney is making all kinds of money, not just from, and by the way, let's do this really quick. Animation, Pixar, we talked about Lucasfilms, Marvel Studios they own.
Yeah,
so all those big ass superhero movies, Disney, Pixar, Walt Disney. There's a ton of subsidiaries here. Disney Theatrical
ABC
Group, Studio, ABC Television Group, Disney ABC Television Group,
A&E,
A&E. Let's see what else we got going on here. And I don't know why it's so funny. I'm still not used to looking at this big ass screen yet.
We got nice big ass screen.
Yes.
ESPN,
and all those little ESPN. Holy cow! Look at all those ESPN channels too.
Yeah.
And I just saw there's a Frisco Bowl. I didn't even know that.
Frisco.
They're making money on all that too. The Frisco Bowl.
You said Frisco.
What? Disney Retail. I'm assuming that's like what all the toys and merchandise or something.
Yep.
Disney games in it, or like video games.
Yep. GameStar. It's GameStar.
This will all be on the YouTube. You can see it on the YouTube thing, or you can Google it. Don't be lazy. Just YouTube it, okay?
Yeah.
Disneyland Resort.
Watch a documentary on Disney.
Did you say 33,000 acres?
Yeah, 33,000.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Motherfucker.
I was like, who the hell? Who the hell are you?
Who the hell needs 33,000 acres?
Right.
I mean, look at all this shit they own, though.
Right. Yeah. It's insane. You know, and especially when you go down there, I was new. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I'm walking around and I see all these stormtroopers after the new Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the hell? And then I asked somebody, I was like, so what's up with all the Star Wars stuff? Disney owns Star Wars too. I'm like, get out of town.
Yeah.
What the hell? And you could literally go in, buy a stormtrooper suit for like, I think it was like $1,200, like an actual stormtrooper.
Legit. Man.
And then I think Darth Vader's is like $1,800, but I'm like,
why wouldn't you charge a premium?
if I had my tax return, that's exactly what I would have spent it on.
What were we talking about tax returns earlier off camera? What were we saying?
Oh, we were just talking about, how you should, either replace your carpet or get a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, well, the PS4 Pro is going to happen before the tax return, but the carpet though, Mike Oshner, who's going to be on in January. Okay, he's going to be on in January. Nice. So we'll definitely, I'll be talking. Maybe I'll be buttering him up for some,
some deals, some deals or some coupons
on some laminate. I got a lot of blue carpet, Mike. Mike's been here. Okay, already. He's seen the carpet. I need help in here. Right. Just got those blinds in though. I'm excited about putting in. Hey, when you're an adult, and I say it an adult, you're an adult. But I feel like when I was in my 20s, like he's living his life, enjoying himself. Even though I was in serious relationships though at the time too, but I feel like though in the 20s you feel more invincible, you kind of have fun, right? Yeah. In my mid 30s, I'm kind of an old fucker, and you could probably see the gray hairs in the pictures and videos. But I got new blinds in today, and I was telling him I got back from my trip to Fargo, and the UPS or the FedEx guy dropped off all my custom blinds from Home Depot, the Bally blinds, faux wood, fancy blinds, and I didn't have the money to spend for real wood blinds.
Top of line.
God, those wood blinds are expensive.
Yeah.
Ridiculously expensive.
Anything wood nowadays is very, very expensive.
I know. I've got all kinds of solid woods over here in the corner. That sounds weird, but I got guitars and basses over here in the corner.
Especially barnwood.
Reclaimed?
Any barnwood.
Is expensive. Yeah. You know why? People are doing that reclaimed look on a lot of stuff anymore is what they're doing. Yeah. So I talked to a coworker this past week, not Kevin, who did the podcast with me. I've been a coworker in the past. But one of my other coworkers, he's showing me all these pictures. He's taken, you can get reclaimed wood and like stain it and then just like put it up on like accent walls and stuff like that. And it looks awesome. Yeah. Yeah. They're doing that on guitars too. And I don't, do they do that on drums? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Like shells? That'd be tough to do, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I think you just have to have the right wood, like birch or, maple. I've always wanted a maple drum set. I mean, I think maple is still the best sounding drum set you could ever possibly have.
Yeah. And what's your brand? And by the way, we kind of talked about this earlier. I met him as a musician. He's a drummer. Did we say that earlier?
We
just said
briefly
musician?
talked about it. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what is your go-to brand for drums?
I honestly, if I had the money, it would definitely be, I'd say probably DW.
DW?
Yeah.
So Chad Grimm,
Yeah.
who has not been on the podcast, but if he wants to, he's always more than welcome to.
Coming soon.
No, he's not scheduled, but
We'll
if
get
he
him
wants
scheduled.
to, yeah, next year sometime, he's got a DW exotic wood
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay.
He bought it from Sweetwater. Super nice, like, God, like
I
big
mean,
buck kit. You know what I'm saying?
They've been around a long time.
And it sounds awesome. I remember when you replaced his old kit, I'm like, holy cow, that's like night and day difference.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds awesome.
Yeah. And you can just get them custom made too. I mean, you can put anything you want on them. I mean, just like any other drum kits out there. But, you know, like I said, I've always had a Pearl. I've had nothing wrong. You know,
Pearls, yeah.
Pearl's always done me well. I mean,
yeah.
I have a Pearl Masters snare drum made out of maple, 14-inch, and I love the hell out of it. I mean, it's just an awesome drum. You know, it's honestly, like I said, my Uncle Brad, he's a drummer too. So
Is that how you got started drumming?
yeah. I mean, my dad was a drummer too. So I mean, his
God,
brother was a drummer. So yeah, I was built in the drummer family.
I feel like there's so much we could talk about even on the music side of things. That we don't, you know,
right.
It would just have, but yeah. So your uncle and your dad played drums.
Yeah.
And that's how you got started doing that then too.
Yeah. Yeah. I just started with a rock beat and then just kind of went out.
I feel like I want to keep going on like the plane stuff, the
can ask
pilot
me-
stuff
you
too.
can ask me
We could
anything.
literally be here all night. This could be the longest podcast ever. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I'm out of ice too. I've never. You need some more too. It looks
I
like here
think so.
eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? I've never done this before. I'm going to tell you for the first time last night on my podcast with Mr. McMaster and Fargo, I spilled my drink.
Oh, jeez.
So we didn't have nice cups.
Sure.
We actually had Holiday Inn Express coffee cups we were using.
That's still classic.
Awful. So when I was grabbing the rim of the what's that material they're made out of? It's like a styrofoam or something.
It's cancer. They're supposed to say it's cancer free.
Well, I grabbed it by the rim and I was trying to lift it and it spilled all over the place. That was a first. I've never spilled a drink before. I think this may be the first time I ever go get more ice for us because I realize we're getting low on ice. I got half a bottle of scotch and I've got a lot of content I want to talk with him about. You got to be out here at a certain time?
No. I mean, like I said, I've been off for 3 weeks. This is awesome. I love the social interaction. When I'm on the road, it's just me in the airplane. So I don't get to talk to people very much.
Do me a favor. When I'm going, I'm going to do a first. I'm going to step away from the cameras. We're not going to end this anytime soon, but I'm going to have him talk about something while I'm gone. It's going to take like 2 minutes max. So what do you want to talk about while we're gone?
I guess I could talk about more drum stuff. I mean, that's
so your dad and your uncle.
Yeah,
and
dad and uncle.
When you first started drumming. Go ahead and keep talking.
All right, yeah. So my uncle, my dad, and his brother were all drummers. I kind of, like I said, I grew up in that whole family, but yeah, just all started with a rock beat and then just kind of played off from there. I wish I had more time to actually take on drumming because, you know, every kid in that day and age, you know, growing up, either playing football, basketball, you know, running track, all that kind of stuff, and you have your summer league stuff. So I really wish I kind of more focused on drumming and just got into it more, which is what I'll probably start doing now is actually do a lot more drumming stuff and just kind of focusing on that and getting better at it. Because, man, I haven't played the drums in like, I say a year. So
obviously I didn't catch most of that because I was so busy working on getting ice, and I just spilled a little bit, but that's okay. And I'm sorry.
you're fine.
I just handled your ice cube again. Hopefully that's all right.
No, it's fine.
So you want to get back into it more. I caught that when I was coming back in.
I was explaining that, you know, growing up, you know, I played during middle school, high school, all that kind of stuff, but just didn't really have the time to really focus on that, you know, part of music, just playing the drums. Cause you know, every kid goes through, you know, the sports aspect in life, and then you know, have summer leagues and stuff like that, and you're just, by the end of the day, you're tired, and you're just like,
You run out of
then you get a
energy,
girlfriend.
enthusiasm.
Then you get a girlfriend. Then you're cuddling for 3 hours and you haven't
Women.
moved. Yeah, you haven't moved.
Cuddling. I mean, you move a lot, but not. I mean, when you're done, when you're cuddling.
The first time when you cuddle, you're there for probably about 4 hours and you haven't moved yet, and you're sweating and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of spooning and petting and right. Not turtle fisting or anything like that.
No, none of that.
That happens later.
You're still experiencing that at the first time. So
sure. What, the fisting? Or?
Yes.
I'm not talking about turtle fisting at this point.
You're just experiencing to be a man at the first time in your life, and you're just like, wow, this is a beautiful creature right next to me.
Sure.
It's probably going to dump me in 3 months, but who cares?
Enjoy the moment.
Right. Enjoy the moment.
But now, so you got a little bit, so you're piloting and you're getting some time off and you're thinking you want to drum a little bit more then?
Yeah. Especially, yeah. I've been, my free time, I've been trying to drop the college weight a little bit so I can get my 19-year-old 20 face back, you know?
Yep.
You know, show the cheekbones just a little bit. But
yeah,
I've been doing that every day, and then I go home and do laundry, and that's pretty much about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to pick up on the drumming again. So
the nice thing is with music, and I know Corey knows this too, is like, you know, you can pick it up, thankfully, again, almost at any point, because I feel like for us, so if me and you both stopped completely today on music and we couldn't touch it for a month, at least we've done it enough at this point. We could get back to it and just at least know the basics.
Yeah.
We're not starting from scratch,
it's
right?
like riding a bike.
It is. It's kind of like
all
that.
muscle memory.
It is. So muscle memory is very important.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, especially as a guitar player too, for me, and finger positions and like strumming feel and all that kind of stuff. It is kind of muscle memory. So I am a completely lowest level amateur drummer there possibly is out there, right? But I definitely enjoy it when I get back in front of that kit again.
Yeah.
And I don't have a Pearl kit like you have, or you still have a Pearl kit then?
Yeah.
I don't have a DW kit or anything fancy like my friend Chad has, or, you know, any of these other kits, but I got a electronic Roland kit that I just like sitting in front of, just kind of headphones on, so I'm not interrupting people's in the house, and just
go to town.
Just go to town.
Take yourself away.
Take my anger out of my drums.
Yeah.
I don't have a cat, so I mean, that's a bad joke, and for all the cat people out there, I am so sorry I offended you if I did. So
I'm actually a cat person, but
I am so
you
sorry.
did not offend me.
Okay, it's a joke.
You did not offend me at all.
I mean, after chemtrails, gay frogs, fisting turtles, cocaine, Velociraptors, and Bill Pullman. I mean, I feel like we're okay at this point.
Exactly.
All right, so drums though, and so I met Corey originally.
Yeah.
Through another musician. We might as well go there since we're talking drums.
Might as well.
Through a friend of mine, his name was Ron, right?
Yep.
And Ron Riddell.
Yep, Ron Riddell.
He's a bass player, friend of mine. We hung out with him because through mutual friends. God, I feel like it was a friend that passed away of his.
Yeah,
committed,
it was. His name's Tom Revis. Tom Revis.
And Elvira's his wife.
Yeah.
Who she's great gal. We got along. We were like good friends because I remember. So did you ever hear the story behind that?
Yeah.
How we met and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I didn't even think about it till right now when we started talking about
Yeah.
it. God, yeah. So I met him through another mutual musician, and he was the drummer in a band called Sinners and Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And because I knew Ron, and they were looking, I helped you run sound or Duckies in Andalusia one night.
Yep.
And that's where some of that video.
Bless you.
Thank you. Wow, came from. My sinuses have been all effed up since I went back and forth to Fargo.
Right.
As soon as I got to Fargo and the snow and all that, I'm like, man, I can't breathe at all.
Temperature
anymore.
change. I'm telling you, that's what wrecks me pretty much.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's for me too. But anyway, so I met him through mutual musicians, drummer. I recorded their live show. He was great enough to support me and my bands like Blackout Unplugged.
Absolutely.
When it was the Unplugged most of the time version back in the day. Now it's more electric and acoustic too.
Right.
But yeah, that's why I wanted to reach out to him because I was still friends. But I wanted to talk about the piloting stuff and the musicianship though, and the music is why originally, we kind of met each other. And for you, your dad and your uncle, what did they play music wise on the drums? What did you hear when you were in the house or
Def
your uncle's?
Leppard.
So it was 80s stuff. Is that what the decade was?
Well, I mean, my dad liked to play Def Leppard. Led Zepp. John Bonham, all that kind of stuff. And then my uncle was actually, so he played in Chicago. He had this band called Fuel 440. And the funny thing is, so his singer at the time, he's now a neurosurgeon, which is awesome.
In Chicago.
I don't know exactly where he is, but
that's what he's doing now, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was, back in the day, they would, play in Wrigleyville and all that kind of stuff. And
nice.
I mean, there'd be a waiting list to play in Chicago, but I mean, just the experience they had. I mean, they had an album and everything, and it was awesome. So he had some really good experience. I mean, Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam is really the only way to describe my uncle is Pearl Jam.
He loves that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's still part of the Pearl Jam. I don't know what you call it, but every year you get admitted tickets or something like that. Part of the Pearl Jam Club,
Play
I think.
Wrigley. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean anywhere. I mean just
Mike Oceaner, the singer that we both know, he's a huge Pearl Jam fan. I saw Pearl Jam with him at the iWireless Center before it was Tax Slayer Center.
Yeah. But
I think he's seen him at Wrigley as well.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Sold out show, both Wrigleyville and Tax Slayer Center. They're awesome.
So what did you first play on drums? Well, I know your dad played Def Leppard 80s and Led Zeppelin 70s and possibly late 60s.
Sure.
What did you listen to when you were in high school, or when did you first start drumming? Tell me the year. I may have missed that.
I think it was I was 7 years old.
Oh shit, you were super young.
So and I did a lot of AC/DC just because it was very simple rock.
You're right. It's fucking easy. That's why I don't play it on guitar either.
So easy.
Fucking lame. No, I'm just kidding.
Super easy stuff.
Good to start with.
Yeah,
though.
and then I started kind of listening to other drummers like John Bonham, and then then obviously Rush.
Oh Neil Peart.
Yeah, Neil Peart.
Who doesn't know who Neil Peart is?
But the fascinating thing about Neil Peart is he used to listen to jazz or play jazz, a lot of jazz. And if you can play
classically
jazz,
trained.
Yeah, if you can play jazz, you can play literally anything they throw at you.
See that poster with the hand on it?
Yeah,
it's off camera. So Danny Carey, classically trained, a lot of jazz background too. Another monster effing player.
Yeah.
Solid. I don't know if you know who he is or anything like that.
The Tool drummer. I mean, he started out playing Division I basketball. He's like 6'6".
He's huge.
Then he's like, I don't have a career in basketball. I'm gonna go play drums. And now he's a kick-ass drummer.
Dude, I've seen them live a few times, and the last time they came around, me and my buddy went to the VIP meet and greet, or it was like Adam Jones, the guitar player, did this clinic before the show, where he's like question and answer. This is how I got to this point, and there were surprise appearances by Danny Carey and I'm drunk and gosh, I'm trying to remember the bass player now.
That dude's badass.
Dude, he's badass too. A huge inspiration on bass for me. And I know Corey, if Corey's watching, my other friend Corey, bass player friend, he's like, he's probably yelling at me. The bass player, Justin Chancellor. Oh my God, I finally remembered. It should have been right there. I've drank a lot right now. So, but yeah, all of them, they showed up, and Danny Carey was like demonstrating with 2 drumsticks on like this is how I do 6/8. This is how I do.
Right.
He's just like,
just has it down to a science.
He kept building it up, and he got to one point where he's like, all right, now we're going to do like, some obscure fucking timing, and he had to stop and think about it for a second. But he got into it like he knew he was like, oh wait, nope. He's like, oh, this is it, and he could watch it, and like it was crazy just watching him with 2 sticks, beating against some random piece in this room with only like 50 people watching this. I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. So that VIP thing,
that's awesome.
When I got back, I had some pics from Adam Jones and the ticket and the VIP wristband.
That's awesome.
We were in the second row at the show.
That's solid.
We saw sound check.
Nice.
Maynard wasn't singing. He's an asshole and he hides behind the scenes until the actual,
Right.
But just watching them as the bass, guitar, and drums, and watching Danny Carey.
Yeah.
Because the dude, like you said, he's 6'6". He's a monster, right?
He's a beast.
Huge.
Yeah.
Muscular. And he's just like, it's like the way he plays that kid. It's like the Neil Peart thing, right?
Yeah.
Big old kid, except with Danny Carey's though, it's like half electronic and half. So he's got all this extra stuff he's programmed, and he calls this the toilet seat. This old like round sampler in the middle, and he's got the half electric side over here that he programs, and then the half he's got his rototoms and all that stuff.
Sure.
And the cool thing about Danny Carey, I'm really getting off on this. Tool is the band, by the way.
Tool is awesome. Zombie and Vicarious are my two favorite songs.
Oh, from the latest album. Yeah, those are awesome too.
Yes.
Awesome songs.
Yes.
For me, and again, I feel like it's generational. So I love the newest like 10,000 Days stuff, but I also love when I started listening would been like Anima and Lateralis.
Sure.
Those albums that I saw them
for
Lateralis and then later on too. But I mean like Vicarious and Zombie and all those.
Just start jamming just at both of those songs at the very end, they're just going all out. I love that. It's awesome.
And they play those songs, at least Zombie they did play live too. And it's like watching that and just watch them all, and it's like holy cow, and just the precision. Yeah. On like, you think when you think music, here's the deal, everybody, if you're listening out there, if you like Tool, you can't dance to it. Because the shit isn't in 4/4 time most of the time. But you're watching it, and you're watching like when Danny Carey's hitting the cymbals and the in the right times, and you're like, man, it's just like you're mesmerized. You don't want to dance because you would just want to watch and be like,
it's just a different style of how they play.
How the fuck's he doing that? That's most of the time I'm watching that. I listen to it and I take in a lot as a guitar player, right? I'm trying to follow all that, which. For Adam Jones, the guitar player, it's not like he's a virtuoso, like solos and shred and all that. But the shit he's playing with Justin on bass and Danny on the drums, it's like they're making the impossible happen with these time signatures. And I'm like, it comes back around. And I told you with Danny, he's oh yeah, this is this and this is this, and he's like two hands doing completely different things in rhythm. I'm like,
and it's all natural to him. He's just like. I actually got to think about it and like how I do this.
There was one that he did. I wish I remembered what that time signature was, but he's like, oh yeah, this is like this and this, and he's like, okay, this is this, and I'm like, oh, fucker, how do you do that? And he's counting out one of them, and you're like counting out the other one. I'm like, holy cow, it's precision, right?
Behind closed doors, I use both hands, so that's why he's awesome.
Giggity.
Well, inside joke here for the drummers.
So yeah, drums though is fun. Give me this is fun. I want to know your top.
Sure.
Not bands. Give me your top 5. If you can't think of top 5, give me top 3 drummers.
Buddy Rich,
which I know who you're talking about. What decade was that? 40s, 50s?
Oh, it was probably 50s.
50s. Awesome, though. I've seen the videos. Yeah. Awesome.
Buddy drummer. Rich. Second one. Oof. I'm just going to have to go with Neil Peart because Neil Peart is Neil Peart. Yep. Rough life. Very rough life. Third, John Bonham.
Bonham. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. All those are great drums, and I respect all those.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, so here's a fun fact. So I don't know if you've ever known Louis Bellson.
I do not know that.
Very famous jazz drummer. Knew Buddy Rich, but so one of our family members, I think it was our cousin. I know my dad has signed snare drum heads by Louis Bellson, but he actually incorporated the double bass pedal or the double bass.
What year is this?
I think 50s, 40s, 50s.
No shit.
Yeah. So one of our cousins was actually married to his niece.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So that's kind of the line of drummers down the road. I mean, that's kind of, it's a little interesting, but I'm like, yeah, well, maybe that's why they turned out to be drummers. But and then that was the thing. It was really cool to know that, my dad was, telling me, he's like, yeah, I have Louis Bellson signed drum heads. I'm like, who's Louis Bellson? Played with Buddy Rich. I mean, that's back then. That was, double bass pedal. Double basses. That was a new era. So that was like the introduction.
In the 50s. So what kind of music would it be on?
I have no idea. That's the thing. It was something new. It was something new and inventive, and different.
I'm going to give you a few drummers that I appreciate
Yeah,
now.
go ahead.
And I love the ones you picked, and they're all classics, especially John Bonham.
Yeah, John Bonham, very powerful
If you
drummer.
don't like Led Zeppelin,
yeah,
that's all.
Go fuck yourself.
I mean, who you fooling? I mean, seriously, come on now. And his kid now drums too.
Yeah.
His boy drums
He's
for the
awesome.
touring band, apparently. Yeah.
He's good too.
Not Zeppelin, but like there's some kind of like...
Well, they did that Zeppelin tribute to where his son was playing Stairway to Heaven with Hart. Hart was singing.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah, and she nailed it.
Nice.
She nailed it. Yeah.
It's
it was
tough
awesome.
to hit those vocals, man. I feel like a lot of those bands, even the 80s bands, you know, when you see them touring at casinos.
Right.
Yeah, you know you fucking do it because you need the money at the casinos.
Right.
They're tuning down a half step just so they can hit those notes still.
Yeah.
So so I don't know if you've watched podcasts or know this about me enough, but for me, I'm a huge metal guy now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I saw your Instagram video. I think you took one of your kids to the first metal concert or something.
Machine Head.
Yeah, Machine Head.
Fuck yeah, that was awesome.
I saw the mosh pit and everything. That was pretty awesome.
Circle pit.
Circle pit.
So there's a few different styles of mosh pits. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to roll up my
now
sleeves
I'm
for this,
learning
but-
something because I have no idea.
So a typical mosh pit would be like, and I don't know enough, and there's
Wear a
going to be
mouth
metalheads.
guard, get your ass kicked, you know.
Exactly. You know, you gotta,
Whitechapel, you know, all that kind of stuff.
exactly. So that's
Right.
where people are bouncing around and shit. And I've been in those in the days too. I've been to all kinds of concerts. So in this room, and I know the cameras can't see it, you may be able to see a couple off here and over there. I mean, it's not like a perfect circle's moshing or hurt. Slipknot was.
Yeah,
But that was a full day of metal fucking music. When I saw Slipknot, they were the headliner, and then Lamb of God, which is my favorite,
Lamb of God's good
one of my favorite bands. So Chris Adler's in my top three.
Yeah.
And then Bullet for My Valentine was there too, and there was a few other metal bands. And then off to the side, you can't see it, and these are just random ones. I've seen millions of bands play, but not millions, obviously. Deftones, huge favorite of mine. Tool, Sick Puppies, Alter Bridge. These are just some of the like signed posters, memorabilia that I've decided I'm gonna like frame. But for my top though, Lamb of God is one of my favorite bands. So,
and I have his double bass pedal, the Axis.
you do
The longboards.
Longboards.
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy about him? I talked to Chad Grimm about this too. Chad, if you want to be on, then we can talk too on this. But Chris Adler, hilarious guy, huge fucking double bass player. He plays shit with 1 foot that people can't play with 2 feet.
Right.
And Chad Graham was like, and the guy plays with work boots on.
Right.
Fuck him, he said.
Yeah.
You know, where a lot of those guys, they do barefoot or they do like.
Or they start wearing wrestling shoes for.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
they're light, but I mean, hell, I'm gonna start wearing a singlet and wrestling shoes and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, hell, I'll play. That's the thing. I can't play in cowboy boots. I wish I could.
Because yeah.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I'd say the classic, you know, Nike Free Runs, the 5.0s. Those
Would do the trick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I respect the Nikes. I got a couple pairs.
That's right.
But so Chris Adler, some of the fun things about him is that
Huge family man too, by the way. Huge family man.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. He's got I think he's got 2 daughters. I think.
Seems like a hell of a guy in interviews.
He's very nice.
And seen him playing. I didn't have VIP to the Lamb of God. I had VIP to Slipknot, even
Yeah.
though I didn't get to meet any of the guys or anything like that.
Right.
But we had early access and sound, you know, all that crazy
Sure.
stuff. It was just cool. That's why I got the poster. God, am I slurring my words already? Anyway, so Chris Adler, though, Lamb of God is one of my favorite bands. So Chris Adler's in my top 3 for drummers because I'm a modern metal, you know, thrash metal, whatever kind of guy, newer kind of metal guy. There's a band called Gojira. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
I don't think I have.
I encourage you to check them out. And again, we're getting into a lot of the same good with double
Sure.
bass,
Yeah.
and different, you know, even I think there's some different timings on their stuff too. His name is Mario. The nickname for him is Evil Mario.
Okay.
But the shit he plays is crazy too.
Sure.
And then last but not least, my man, my
Tool.
legend that I've seen
Yeah.
a few times live, and that I've seen him in that VIP,
Sure.
where he's doing this,
And
this is how we do all this. I'm
That's
like,
the thing with drummers. It's so hard to really categorize. I mean, they just play different stuff. I mean, they
do.
They have their own style, and that's what makes them so unique. And I don't know if anybody's seen Whiplash, the movie Whiplash.
I feel like it sounds familiar, but I don't know if I've seen it or not.
It's just about, you know, basically a kid that is trying to be, you know, the next, you know, Buddy Rich or you know, whoever. But the guy behind the story is like, you know, trying to push him. He's like, make a name for yourself. Don't be
you.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah.
Don't be the next Buddy Rich. Don't be the next Neil Peart. Make your own style of drumming.
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Yeah.
I haven't said that in a long time.
Whiplash is a good movie. I really
Yeah.
like it. It was one of another favorite movie of mine. I think it was a very, very good movie. And I think it's funny too. I mean the instructor, the band instructor, he's hilarious. I forget who plays in that, but he plays in Spider-Man, bald guy. But yeah, he was hilarious in that movie. But yeah, he made a point. He's like, yeah, play and do you make your own sound.
Everybody needs to develop their own sound.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is, for me as a guitar player, I always feel like there's pressure as a guitar player. And
Sure.
maybe you feel this as a drummer.
Yeah.
There's pressure I feel as a guitar player where I'm thinking I'm not good enough. I need to be able to rip and shred and do all this kind of shit. I don't
Right.
want to do that. Some of my most favorite guitar players, like Adam Jones,
Sure.
he's not a rip and shred and solo guy. Some of the crazy, like, you know, shit that he creates and the off timing stuff. And then I think of like Deftones, and whether you're not you know or appreciate who Deftones are, Stephen Carpenter. I've seen them live. Had a VIP thing when I saw that. I met Stephen Carpenter, all the band members.
Nice.
It was so cool. And they, you know, with the sign poster up here.
Sure.
Huge stoner. He's a riff guy. He's not a shredder. He's not doing all this, you know, sweeping and, you know, all this stuff.
Right.
But he makes good music that's in what I like to listen to. That I respect that more than the asshole that's gonna
Sure.
jerk off and shred nonstop. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good thing you said that because speaking of Chris Adler, I watched a lot of his videos, especially when I bought his bass pedal. But he's like, it's not about who can play the fastest. It's not about who can, you know, do all these rudiments and stuff like.
Let's be honest, though, he can do all that.
No,
shit,
he
right?
can't. He
Yeah,
can't. But he
exactly.
emphasizes saying like,
Yeah.
hey, write something solid.
Yeah.
Do something solid. Be like, oh yeah, man, that's different. That's weird. That's awesome. Like, do something that is out of the ordinary. You know, maybe it's like hitting the drum and licking your finger, then making a different sound out of the. You know, just something
But
creative.
be solid though.
Yeah.
Be good at it.
Yeah, solid.
Own it.
Yeah,
Own
exactly.
you do you.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the what should we call it? The takeaway of this podcast.
You do you.
Look at the cameras. Do that one more time.
You do you. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
I love it. We're gonna totally use that too.
We're gonna make T-shirts.
Yeah. I got to show you one thing. We're keep talking about Chris Adler. It's so awesome that you know who that is.
Yeah.
I feel like I introduced, and it's funny. Drummer wise, I know a few drummers. Like Irish Mike's been on.
Yeah.
I need to get Chad Grimm on. I
Yeah.
remember I played Grace for Chad a long time ago. I don't know if you know what song that is.
Yeah, I know that song.
And Chad's like, so what do you listen to lately? I'm like, oh, I love the Slam of God stuff. He's like, oh yeah, play it for me. And he was like, oh, let me hear this. And he's like,
Honestly, I think Redneck was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite song out of the whole.
you know what my favorite one is recently of his? And I'm saying his like Chris Adler
Right.
drumming style is Desolation. Descending.
Yeah, Descending's a good one.
Oh my God. And again, it's all like, what can he do and with his feet and his hand at the same time? Like,
Play a clip. Let's everybody hear this. This is actually very interesting. It's a very it's a different way to start a song because it's very fast in the very beginning.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like whoa,
And it's like the drumming part. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And
it's amazing.
there's all kinds of shit on here. So
Looks
don't
like
judge.
we lost our thing up here.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Mayday,
Hold on.
Mayday.
Mayday.
Yeah, Spark 7700.
It's just probably because it timed out.
Oh, it's okay.
Descending.
Beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's my
That's
old
you.
living room TV. So
Yeah,
this
here we
is
go.
my favorite recent Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Chris Adler song.
Chris Adler. Now everybody
Guitar parts wise is the other song.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This
The
is
intro,
where we
like I
go.
said.
Nothing but double bass.
It doesn't sound as good with some from the TV.
A lot of heel toe action right there. Heel toe.
And I'm only pausing it so YouTube doesn't kick us off or anything like that. But basically, yeah, a lot of heel toe action. I remember watching, they had this documentary after they made like some album, and I can't remember which one it was. And I just remember them like showing Chris Adler in the studio and the shit he's playing. And you're like watching. I'm like, I mean, I love, I've been a huge Tool fan, favorite band for the longest time.
Yeah.
It just is who I am, right? And
Right.
I see this, I'm like, how the fuck can you do shit like that?
Who is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy? And he's just some humble dude from like what, North South Carolina
Yeah,
or what,
yeah.
Virginia or some
Yep.
shit like that, wherever it is. And
just a solid dude. I mean, like I said, and that's why they create. I mean, he kind of created his own foot pedals, like the longboards.
Yeah.
It's very easy. Once you start getting into the drumming, you start learning a lot of these techniques of how to make it easier, or because like I said, when you're drumming, it's all muscle memory, and you get tired for the most part because you start using a lot of your ligaments and your legs and your ankles and wrists and stuff like that, and it's like I said, you just have to start using different techniques of how to play a 4-hour show or a 6-hour
yeah.
show.
Yep,
it's just all that kind of stuff, but make it a lot easier for yourself.
I was gonna say when I've seen I've only seen Lamb of God once when I saw Slipknot and Bullet for My Valentine. I feel like Avatar or there was some other, not Avatar, Motionless in White. Some other random newer metal bands were there, and I'm like, oh my! It was fun to see. I'm a huge guitar guy, and I ended up getting a Mark Morton lead guitar player. He threw a pick out. I mean, we were VIP there, so we were like in the mosh pit. Did we ever discuss the different types of mosh pits yet?
No, we did not.
Because I'm so drunk, I'm all over the place.
We did not describe that, but we will.
We will. We'll do that next for sure. So anyway, it was so cool to see him. But then again, like there was a ton of bands there that day, so it's not like Chris had to,
right
for very long.
Right.
It's like an hour, right?
Yeah.
So not 3. So like when me and Corey, when we play cover bands, we're playing 3 to 4 hours.
Sure.
We earn that motherfucking money, right?
We do. I try to sound like every single drummer in 4 hours.
It's tough.
It is. Especially when you start playing like Foo Fighters or, because
like my hero.
Yeah. I mean, I did play, what did I play? I played, can't even think of the name now. It's been so long.
How does it go?
It's geez.
Lyrics wise, give me a little bit.
It's
give me
something,
a taste.
something. I'm trying to think of the lyrics now too.
Give me a kind of give me something.
It's like dun, 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 dun,
Oh, all my life.
Yeah,
I've been
all my
searching for
life.
something.
All my life. Yeah, that was a
Taylor Hawkins.
oh jeez. Yeah, Taylor Hawkins. Even Dave Grohl. Grohl is
Grohl, yeah, he's awesome.
like even for like No One Knows.
Oh yeah,
Queens of the Stone Age, like
all of his Queens of the Stone Age. He plays for Tenacious D, Queens of the Stone Age, them Crooked Vultures. He does all this drum work
the
too.
dude is insane.
And I talked about this on a podcast before. Did you see the Fresh Pots video?
Yes, I did.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
When he was doing them Crooked Vultures, he kept drinking so much coffee, and he's like spazzing out of control on caffeine. And it's just funny to watch him spaz out and play drums, and like just the confidence is just like it's like.
Well, especially when he goes against the
How do you do
animal.
And what'd you say?
The animal.
The animal
for from the Muppets.
Oh,
him and Dave. Yeah.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
Yep.
But yeah, that's Dave Grohl for you.
We could talk about music forever.
That's in our blood.
It's so fun to talk to somebody that knows like Chris Adler. So I feel like as a metal guy, I mean, I like 90s and newer. I play, I Sell My Soul all the time for that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you played it before,
Yeah.
but like my heart lately has been in like all this metal stuff. So Chris Adler, Danny Carey, no particular order, and that Mario guy from Gojira.
Okay.
So I'll remind you to check it out.
Sure.
Even if you don't like it, that's cool. So let me ask you this: you're music-wise, you're into all kinds of stuff personally, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you like country?
Oh yeah, I love country.
I'm going to tell you something I heard, and I want you to give me some validity towards this. Country touring musicians for country guys. Apparently, the Nashville guys, a lot of them, and I don't know if this is true. Apparently, are metal guys, but they can't get a gig playing metal.
Sure.
So they play country touring as guitar players.
Right.
I'm speaking guitar player wise.
Sure.
So is that kind of, I mean, what do you think the situation, what is the musicianship and the quality of musicians that are required for a country band today? Modern country. Yes.
I just feel like if you can, my personal opinion, I feel like country is very, very easy to play.
You're fucking right, it is.
It's
I'm sorry.
easy.
I did not mean to say that.
I'm not saying that in a bad way. I just, and out of other genres, country is very easy to play. And I've actually been listening to a lot of country, like Luke Combs. I don't know if you've ever heard of Luke Combs.
So I'm not a country guy, so you have to educate me.
So Luke Combs, he's from North Carolina. Very powerful voice, very country voice. He's awesome. I mean, he didn't pick up a guitar till 21. He writes some very, very good songs. The dude's awesome. He's got a powerful voice. I've been listening to a lot of.
Give me one song of his. So
yeah,
before we move on, what's the name again?
It's Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
Yeah. So L-O-U.
And then what's like one of his best songs?
One of his best, When It Rains, It Pours. Yep.
Okay.
That one's good.
Sunday morning, she woke up fighting mad.
So I get the feel. I get the vibe, right?
Yeah.
Give me just a few moments before. I'm going to do it like 20 seconds here. We'll get to the first chorus and then I'll stop it. So this guy, he's fairly new then, you're saying?
Yeah, he's new.
Obviously the beats, it's very simple, right?
Yeah.
But it's the voice, it's the good, it's what is.
He's just, he can pick up anything acoustically. I mean, he can sing really anything. I mean, that's the nice thing about it is he can really sing anything.
So for country music, because I'm just ignorant on country music, right? So for country music, is it what drives the song? Is it the lyric? Is it the vocalist?
I think it's the vocalist.
Is it?
I think
where we're talking like Lamb of God, it's the it's or Slipknot, it's a drummer, it's a very drum.
I think it's a combination of everything. When it comes to metal, I think
it is.
Yeah,
but I mean, we were talking drums, but so in this case, if we're talking country, like Luke Combs.
Well, you look at country music, I think everybody for themselves has their own name, like Luke Combs or Luke Bryan or even Brooks and Dunn.
Oh yeah,
90s
country.
Yeah.
I could talk about all day long.
Right.
I mean, wait, what? I don't know anything about 90s country.
Even there's another country band I've been listening to a lot, and thanks to my friend Brianna Barnett, she got me into this the Walker McGuire.
Thanks, Brianna.
Yeah, thanks, Brianna.
Brianna.
Yeah, Brianna. It's B-R-I-A.
Not Anna.
No,
Anna.
No, not Brianna.
Brianna.
It's Brianna.
Brianna.
Yep, Brianna.
N.
2 N's.
We're spending a lot of time on this.
Yeah, I know. She's awesome. I love her to death. She's
perfect.
She's cool. But
cool.
Yeah, she got me into Walker McGuire. Those guys. I mean,
McGuire.
same thing. It's just one name. I mean, there's two guys, but even Florida Georgia Line. It kind of country music is just like I feel like it's just kind of like even like Kane Brown too. It's just like you're representing yourself besides the band for the most part.
So just to be clear, Kane, or what was his name? Kane what?
Kane Brown.
Is that one guy?
Yeah.
Luke Combs is one guy.
One guy.
Who's two people again? Like Brooks
Walker
and Dunn?
McGuire or Brooks and Dunn.
So is that last name Walker, last name McGuire? Or is that?
I think they might be. I think one's name's actual Walker, and then maybe the other guy last name's McGuire.
So
or first name.
But it sounds good together.
Yeah.
Walker. It's different.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So for these bands and artists, are country, and I'm learning here because I don't fucking know. I'm ignorant. Are country musicians, are they artists or is it a band then?
I feel like they're artists for the most part.
Because they have touring musicians that join them?
Yeah.
like I told you, I've heard before that the people that tour with country artists, they're metal guys that can't get a metal gig,
Right.
and they're in Nashville, so they're like,
Right.
well, I can do whatever you want me to play,
Right.
except unless there's no disrespect to country artists. So if
No.
you're like a solid like slide player, you obviously are not a metal guy, right?
Right.
If you're on the steel string flat, you're not a metal guy.
Sure.
But the people that are playing guitar,
Yeah.
like I feel like I could play country music. I'm not going to do it, but I feel like
I could play country music. And then
Yeah.
you go to the
Yep.
concerts, but they also respect the fact that they play some rock songs too. Like they play.
like what do they play?
Oh, I want to say they played Led Zeppelin. They played Moby Dick.
Oh, they played Moby Dick.
Yeah, they played Moby Dick. I'm like, out of a country band. I'm like,
That's
wow,
awesome.
That's respectful.
A nice little cover, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and I think a huge part of being in Iowa, it's you play country and
so
in the
I'm-
Midwest and.
I'm accepting of the fact the Bible Belt or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Bible.
I mean, no disrespect
No,
by that
no.
too, but
No.
I feel like
Nothing is disrespectful on the show.
nothing is disrespectful in the show.
Nothing.
I mean, there's a few things.
Yeah,
but
well, yeah, we can respect that, but
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
it's funny. It's like this there's no rules except for two on this
Right.
podcast, which we'll not talk about those rules.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I love just talking about random shit like this. But so everybody knows me personally knows that I'm not a huge country guy. I've seen Garth Brooks tour. Garth is my man.
Garth, he's awesome.
He's an entertainer.
Yes.
And you know what I love about Garth Brooks? He owns that he's an entertainer.
And
He
he's so
does-
nice.
And he's so nice. And you know what? With Garth, he's like,
And he loves his mom.
everybody should love their mom. Mom, I'm going to be in Chicago next week for work. Mom, I'm staying with you and the
Yeah.
family up there. Looking forward to seeing you. I don't see her very often. So
Yeah,
But
Mom,
with
I
Garth-
love you too. It's-
there you go.
Yeah,
Corey loves his mom. I love
do.
my mom
I'm a mama's
too.
boy. I
That's
will tell
right.
you that.
Yep. I will tell you though, with Garth, he's an entertainer and he owns it.
He does.
So one thing that pisses me off, and this I shouldn't say pisses because I'm getting drunk angry right now. So
Out of rage.
and my girlfriend will understand this too because she brings up these country artists, and
Sure.
the first thing my dickhead self does, you know what I do?
What do you do?
I look up who wrote the song.
Sure.
99% of the time, the guy didn't even write the song.
Right.
It's just it's somebody writing the song for
Right.
that country artist, and I'm like,
Half the time it's the drummer writing the stuff.
is it really?
I want to say a majority of the time it is because I didn't know Neil Peart wrote a lot of Rush's songs.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
My favorite overall artist, not drummer, but as a guitar player,
Sure.
Mark Tremonti is a
I've heard of Mark
hero of
Tre-
mine.
yeah.
He was, and I don't like to represent him as a Creed guitar player, but he was the Creed guitar player. Alter Bridge, which is my favorite band, one of my favorite bands.
Alter Bridge.
Yep, and then which isn't Alter Bridge sounds like a huge Christian band. It's not. It's just a more of a modern rock kind of band. He's awesome. And then he does a solo Tremonti band thing.
Sure.
He's a metal guy, right?
Right.
Huge player, monster player, confident player. And God, what were we talking about now?
We're talking about guitar players.
Don't let me forget the mosh pits.
Yes.
So he wrote all that Creed stuff. He wrote all the Creed stuff, like a guitar. So instead of a drummer, like you said,
Sure.
I got a guitar player that's my idol, that's wrote music on the far right on that poster. Mark
Right.
Tremonti. He's wrote music and lyrics for Creed and Alter Bridge and his own solo thing.
Sure.
He's a true
Yeah.
artist, musician, and I respect people. So again, getting back to country, my problem with a lot of country, I think, besides the fact that I don't personally like it personally because I'm a metal guy,
Sure.
is that if you don't write your own music,
Right.
I don't have any respect for you because I know there's people that still do it day in and day
And
out.
I'll tell you one example: Taylor Swift.
And
Believe
she
her-
doesn't
No.
or does.
I know for a fact she doesn't write her music.
I believe it because it's poppy now, right?
Right.
It's not country music
Right.
either. But let's face it, though, was the country music? Did she write it, or did other people write it for her?
I think other people. I think maybe she wrote a few songs on her own. I think I believe that. I feel like as an art, if I was an artist, I would want to write something that I wrote
Yeah.
and just say, hey, this is me. But obviously, it's a business, and they do
Yep.
stuff.
She's
certain
an
way.
image. She's
right.
A,
she's the image.
Yes.
But
yep.
and like I said, Luke Combs. I've watched a lot of documentaries on him, but it's him and his buddies that write up these songs.
I respect that.
And that's the thing.
I
Like
respect
he
that.
he respects that his friends are there, and the people that started with him
Yeah.
are there with him.
Yeah.
Nobody else. It's just him and his friends. Like, hey, let's talk about the time. Maybe like we were in high school or something like. You know what I mean? And let's write a song about it. But that's just every other musician. But yeah, I think like I said, Luke Combs is. I mean, he's topping out.
That's awesome. And I respect people that write their own music. I'm going to tell you this. We got back to Garth. I told you I like Garth.
Yeah.
He does not write any of his music. All of his hits, he didn't write a fucking one of those.
Thunder Rolls.
But you know what I love? No. You know what I love about him, though? You know what I love about him? He owns it.
It's true.
You know, us as a cover musician.
Right.
Cover musicians.
Right.
We know we're playing Foo Fighters. All my life. We know I'm playing.
It's stuff we love. And we appreciate.
You know what? For country musicians, though, Garth, he owns it. I watched an interview with him. He's like, yeah, I don't write any of these songs. I want to be an entertainer. And I'm like, man, that's what we do.
This guy is realistic.
He's realistic. And let's face it. I mean, me and Corey here, we're entertainers too. We're not trying to.
We're in it for the fun. We're in to entertain people, to have a good time.
That's all we want to do, right? And that's why I appreciate Garth Brooks, because besides I know some 90s country that I don't want to get into, but I mean
I love 90s country. It brings me back to the me in that little Chrysler white minivan going to school, and I just hear all the 90s country music.
91 S10, that was my ride. Anyway, so I respect Garth because he owns the fact that he doesn't hide it.
Sure.
Right? He's like, yeah, I don't fucking write anything.
It's got to be honestly be realistic.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's what I feel like I am for the most time. Like, I'm a realistic person. People take that as they come at, I don't know. They take it the wrong way for the most part. I'm an honest dude. I mean, that's probably why I'm still single. But I'm very realistic. I'm very honest. I there might be a few excuses here and there, but I for the majority of the part, I am a realistic person. Like, I tell you the truth.
Ladies, he's single and he's a pilot. Just letting you know.
Yeah, usually I don't have the hat yet, but I will.
He's gonna have his wings someday.
I'm gonna have my wings someday. I'm totally gonna have my wings.
He's gonna have his wings. So really quick, we were talking mosh pits.
Yes, mosh pits.
At Luke Combs concerts, there's probably no mosh pits.
No, not at all.
But when I took my oldest son to his first metal concert, it was Machine Head recently, and he loved it because So here's the thing: in the truck, and the boys are with me. They're listening to music I'm listening to, right?
Sure.
My oldest loves the music I listen to. My youngest, he's more like pop, and
yeah,
he's like, I love Fall Out Boy. I'm like, that's not the same Fall Out Boy I remember.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you know what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for my oldest though, what I want to do for the fun of it, really quick. Yep. After it times out is what happens after so long. It just times out. Google.
When you're timing out, I'll say this. Do you want to know what is at Luke Combs concerts, though, besides mosh pits?
What?
Guys in cowboy boots, which is fine, but they're wearing either neon green T-shirts or neon orange T-shirts.
What the fuck's that all about?
And displaying that I'm Mr. Safety and girls go after that.
Oh.
I don't understand, which is fine.
We're on the same page on that one.
Which is fine. They get to have beards. So obviously people are probably wondering, well, if this guy's a pilot, why does he have a beard? Well, for the most part, I obviously don't go that high. I'm not in the airlines yet, but
yes,
I will display the mustache, and I will keep the pilot mustache going for a while.
I think it's necessary.
It's required.
Alcohol and pilot mustaches.
I almost kind of want to do it for No Shave November, just to...
Guess what I did?
What did you do?
I started it. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm going to do No Shave November. So because of my work, I have to do my neckline.
Right, yeah.
And
I always trim up the neckline. I can't do it like neck hair. It's just irritating.
Neck beard and all that stuff.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to fall asleep. It kind of gets itchy. And
I'm doing No Shave November. So
There you go.
in the past, and I feel like in the past when I first met you, I was probably clean shaven, and then
Oh,
I
yeah.
get goatees,
Yep,
and,
with glasses and everything.
Yep. And
Yep.
now it's like, so I've done back and forth with tight beards, full beards now in the past few years, and now in No Shave November, I'm doing I'm not shaving, I'm not trimming, right?
Right.
So we'll see how far it goes.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go, and that's how it is. Anyway, so before we start this YouTube video, I want to tell you one thing. There's multiple types of mosh pits.
Yes.
There's a traditional mosh pit
Sure. This is a mouth guard version, right?
that you brought up earlier.
Okay.
There is a circle pit.
Circle pit.
There's the wall.
The wall. I've never heard of the wall.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
And if you're on YouTube, you'll see this because I'll make sure it's in the video. Let's take a look. So for you metalheads out there, I don't know if it happens at country concerts, but I took my oldest to a Machine Head concert recently, his first.
So we have
That's the wall.
Oh,
the
this
wall.
Is, oh my god.
The wall is supposed to be two level planes that clash.
Wow.
Or clash into each other, right? So the wall is two lines, and then
Okay.
you close in together.
So if anybody's seen The Gladiator, this is
Yes!
this is exactly what you're seeing, or even The Patriot.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe or Mel Gibson.
Did you ever see South Park with the Russell Crowe show?
No, I did not.
Oh my God. We'll have to watch that later. Anyway, so the wall was the first one we just watched, was basically two lines of people just sandwich?
Yeah.
Or
Or just charging, just have bayonets and everything else, and just
the Gladiator.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Gladiator.
The Gladiator.
Yes. So, so the wall,
Wow.
that's the wall. That's typically what I've seen as the wall when I'm at metal concerts.
Wow.
It's not a mosh pit, is where everybody kind of just jumbles together, right?
I love it.
But the wall is where you kind of smack right into each
Right.
other.
Or just dive into somebody.
and now
you
they're
know?
just kind of like making out with each other right
Right.
now, it looks like.
grabbing ass, playing slap ass, all that kind of stuff.
Slap ass.
Yeah, slap ass. Can I get some more slap ass? No, Rogelio, I told you not. He said no slap ass.
Yeah. So that was the wall version. And then...
Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, I would say Avenged Sevenfold. A7X. So this is a circle pit.
Oh, jeez.
So circle pit is what I ran into in Machine Head with my oldest, and I'm like, hey, I'm my oldest son. Hey, keep in mind, I'm like, he's like 14 years old. I'm like, hey,
Right.
you want to get in there, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
fuck, no, I'm not going.
Right.
there. That's what he was telling me.
Get your high school football helmet on. Oh, here's,
Circle pit.
Here's a circle pit.
So you basically start circling, and basically start bouncing off people, and then it gets crazy.
Wow.
You just join the circle.
This is insane.
Circle pit. How old is this Avenged Sevenfold video? I mean, this has got to be a little...
This is probably when the Rev was still alive.
Oh, yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Who else did we say rest in peace to earlier? Prince.
Prince.
MLI.
Yeah.
He stopped at MLI. MLI.
MLI.
Pain pills. Stay away from the kids.
Yep, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I mean, I was on pain pills for various reasons, and it was because I had surgery on my right wrist.
I've been too.
And I mean, I started hallucinating and watching TV that wasn't even on. I started making my own creations, and it was insane.
Yeah, I've been there too. I feel like that's something we could talk about off camera more. I mean, I've never done that before.
The realistic, things you'll come across over-the-counter medications. It's real. I mean, if you're injured, you're injured. You start realizing the fact, like, hey, these people have a problem, and I know why.
I've been there. I've had surgeries and stuff where it's been an issue, or not surgeries where it's been an issue. Not an issue. Are we still recording?
I think so. I see the red lights.
We do. The red lights mean we're recording. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But we'll talk more about this off camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
This could be the longest podcast I've ever done.
No way. I feel privileged.
I didn't even think we talked about all that I wanted to talk about either.
No, I mean, we still have more to talk about.
I wanted to talk about more with the commercial pilot
You
stuff.
still can. Anybody that is listening, and I hope you are, because podcasting is awesome. I really enjoy it.
This is your camera right here.
There we go.
It doesn't look like it's yours,
I know.
but it's a wide angle
It's
lens.
like it's
so-
almost like I'm, looking at somebody that's maybe cross-eyed or just has one lazy eye. And I'm
We
like,
got-
are you looking at me or are you looking at him?
So look at these. These are the eyes, and this is the third eye.
Sure,
This is the third eye.
that's the big brother, right?
Yeah. Is this like the air traffic controller?
Probably.
Probably. Test 9 or 10 or... No,
Yeah,
wait,
9 or
no.
5, 6, 5.
Yes. Did you see Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Where the air traffic controller, he was messed about his daughter, and then like the collision happened in the air.
Sure.
How realistic was that?
Not realistic at all.
I figured. God damn it. This is what we need to do. We've been pretty deep into this podcast at this point. Could be the longest one ever. And we didn't even,
We still have that to finish. That's our goal tonight. It's Friday night. We're finishing that.
we may go to the drum room, my band room in the garage, and we may play some drums next. But I guess for Corey, man, I'm so glad you came over.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I really appreciate this.
I feel like we didn't get to everything that we
no,
wanted to talk
I mean, like I
about.
said, that's another reason why I come back.
So next year, I'm booked out. God, I feel like it's through April of next year.
Sure.
Or January, February, March, April. I feel like it's maybe April or May. Do me a favor, come back.
I will.
When
I
you're
will.
when you're not flying the Piper.
Yeah, the Piper Aztec.
There's so much shit. I'm gonna look back on this, and be like, that's so cool, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna dig deeper. And when he comes back, I'm gonna have so many other questions.
No, like I said, I have so much. I mean, you're talking to a younger generation right now. There's so much happening.
He's making me feel old.
I'm
now.
not. That's yeah. I'm sorry I said that, but at the same time, there's so much happening in this world right now where I'm experiencing. You went through a different time. I'm going through a different time.
Give me the top 3 things that are happening in your life right now.
Student loans.
Student loans
Industry
for commercial pilots.
Yeah, aviation.
I
would say women next.
Bitches. We love them. And I don't mean bitches in a derogatory term.
No.
Because we love them.
Right.
And they love us, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
you can't live without them.
I hope they do. I love my girlfriend. I do. And we love the women in our life.
Right. And honestly, my ideal girlfriend would be, somebody that I can spoil. I can cook for, because I can cook. I do a lot of cleaning. I do a lot of laundry. I can take you to wherever you need to go.
I mean, I'm half turned on right now. I mean, we were talking about fisting earlier. Now
Right.
we're talking about cleaning.
Right.
I mean,
Licking the chilling hole, for the first time.
whatever it takes. Keep everybody happy. That's the key to a happy relationship, right?
Yep. Right.
We probably should end it then for right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
What time is it? Holy cow! It's 10 o'clock. That's not bad though.
No.
We started
absolutely
at what? 7:30.
Yeah.
8:30.
2.5 hours, maybe.
It has not been that long.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's probably been closer to 2 hours.
Probably.
This could be the longest one ever.
This is awesome.
And we didn't even catch up on everything that I wanted to catch up on.
We didn't.
So I'm gonna have him back next year.
Absolutely.
I'll be even older as fuck with more gray hairs, and he's gonna have some sweet pilot mustache coming in here.
Oh yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Can you sport the pilot mustache?
Yeah,
when you come in
I
here
will.
next time?
I'll wear the hat next time too.
Yes.
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 Yes,
And
I'm Captain Sully.
here's what I want to talk about next time.
Sure.
More pilot stuff.
Yeah.
More fine details on flying.
Sure.
We don't want to talk about crazy conspiracy stuff.
Yeah.
More because I think that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we don't believe in it.
We can talk about 9/11 too. How that happened.
That's my birthday, by the way.
Jeez. I'm so sorry.
You think I'm lying?
No.
It's true. People know that if you're watching now, you know. My birthday's 9/11. I'm not going to tell you what year.
I know exactly what happened that day for me. I'll never forget it.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that next time he's on.
Yes.
Because we could fill another couple hours next time he's on.
Yes.
It's been awesome, dude. Let's toast.
Yeah. Toast.
Toast.
Yeah.
Corey Wolfe, everybody.
Yes.
He is a pilot, a great man, a musician, and ladies, He's available.
I'm available
He's
right now. I want to give a couple shout outs to, like
Go
I
for
said,
Promote
RIP Tom Tom Rivas. We love you. We'll never forget you.
I'm with you on that. Went to that.
Yes.
It
was a memorial.
Blackout played the memorial. Yep. Was that at
That was in Port Byron.
Yes. What was the bar called? Is it still there? Right.
Yeah. It's Jammers.
Jammers. Yep.
Jammers had a good setup there.
Yep.
If you guys are into podcasting, definitely check out my buddy's podcast. It's Working Class Bow Hunters it's season now.
I'll put all the links in the description down below because I'm not going to remember right now in this moment. But
I'll tell him. But
he'll remind me.
Yeah, Working Class Bow Hunters. My buddy Kurt Geyer, give him a shout out. He's awesome. He's an awesome dude. To anybody that didn't get to know me now knows me. So
Corey Wolfe, great guy, came over, drove all the way over. How long was your trip?
It was like 30 minutes. Not bad.
No big deal.
No.
Whatever.
LeClaire, Iowa. Check it out.
Over here in Durant, Iowa. Durant.
Yeah.
What is your address? What city you live in?
It's in LeClaire.
LeClaire is the official one?
Yeah, LeClaire, Iowa.
God, that's not very far away at all. Then.
Green Tree Brewery. Got to give the shout out to them.
You know what my favorite would be? Did you see what was in my cupboard out there when we were pointing out this way my liquor collection?
What was yours?
The Cody Road.
Oh yeah.
I had a Cody Road single barrel rye.
Yeah. And they're building a sports bar right next to it.
I like Scotch, and we'll leave it at this.
Sure. I
love Scotch. My second three favorites. I have three other favorites besides Scotch. It's not bourbons. It's actually rye whiskey, and Cody Road in LeClaire, Iowa does a good one. Single barrel rye I've got out there. I also have a Japanese whiskey in the cupboard. I don't know if you saw that earlier.
I don't think I saw that.
I'll show you. It's kind of cool. And then I also have a Jameson Black Barrel. It's an Irish whiskey. But for the most part, we do Scotch here. We got through a lot of Scotch tonight.
Yes.
Did you enjoy the Scotch?
I did. I really did. It was very smooth. It was nice. It was for a first, I wouldn't say a first timer, but somebody that doesn't necessarily drink Scotch. This was really good.
Did it feel like Christmas?
I did. It felt like sex.
It felt like hot fucking
sex.
Scottish sex.
Yeah.
Fisting, acid.
I just got out of an airplane. I'm taking off my hat, my uniform. There's a hot ass flight attendant. We're ready to go places. We're going to Pound Town.
Smash it. And we'll see you next time. This has been EMPP episode number 14. And we will see you next month.
Yes, it was a joy talking to you guys. And like I said, Ed, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad you invited me out on such short notice. Schedules change in a pilot's life. That's the way it is.
I understand. Automotive here.
Aviation
here. We're both a couple of drunks, but we're hoping you enjoyed the time we've had tonight that we've shared with you.
I had so much fun.
Fun.
I did.
Until next time.
We'll
give one final pose out.
Yeah.
Give me a pose.
Cheers.
We'll see you next time.
Woo!